many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. And my daddy was a gambling man way down in New Orleans. Hey, now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and his trowel. Hey, and the only time he's satisfied is when he's on the drum. In the house of the rising sun. Well, I got one foot on the platform, yeah, and the other on the train. Well, I'm going back to New Orleans to where a house in New Orleans. They carve the rocks inside, and it's been the ruins of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one.
Well, we glad you won. What about the rest of us people? We're not in there. What the hell's going on? Welcome, Green. How you doing tonight, or this afternoon, or whatever the hell damn time it is right now? What is it? It's 3:20 for me. What time is it for you? Where you at? Are you up East Coast, right?
Yeah, it's a 4:25 now.
Yes, it's early. It's early. You can party like it's 1999. No, people, we're gonna stop saying that. We're gonna party like it's 2099. Stop living in the past. Let's live it in the future, people. Let's get let's get in the future. So, welcome to Author's Quill. How you doing today? I mean, everything's doing okay. Things are good, or
Yeah, I'm doing great.
are
Providence
you?
is raining heavily all week.
Oh
But
man,
besides
well,
that, everything is great.
I hate to
Yeah.
say this, better y'all than us, because we get a lot of rain down here. So I'm glad.
Oh,
I'm glad when we're not getting any. We're getting from. It's pretty. What is this? April? No, yeah, April. About the end of April, all the way until about September. It's just going to pretty much rain every day.
oof.
It's and that's if they don't have any hurricanes in between that. We got to dodge a
Oh
long
my God.
way. So are you excited? You coming out to Writers of the Future? You're going to be out in LA with us with all the crazies?
Yeah, I'm super
It's,
excited.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. It's
Mm.
I've met a lot of people now. I think that this group makes, let's see, 2448. I think y'all make 70 altogether that I've met, 70 winners that I've met out there, not
Wow.
including the winners that I've met from other years that, from past winners. So
Mhm.
I think I'm well over 100 now, or real close to 100, if not over it. It's
Oh.
it's so I always find it interesting to talk to illustrators and to talk to the authors and see where they're going with their lives, and seeing how things are going to work out and how the hell they get here in the first place. What made them decide they could write or draw, whatever it is that they happen to be
Mhm.
into at the time. What is that, Jamie? What are you saying? Oh, I didn't even ask her. So, what are you here for? Author, illustrator?
Illustrator.
See, I can cheat people. I got paperwork. So, okay, so Oh, that's right. Can we talk about that yet? Yeah, I guess we can talk. Oh no, I don't think we can yet. Oh man, see, there's questions I want to ask that sometimes I can't ask because we're so close to the winning. I mean, we're only 2 weeks out now,
Yeah.
and I know there was some things I don't know. So, do you know whose story you're doing your artwork for?
Um, I can't remember the author's name,
Well, that's
but
probably good because we probably get in trouble if we said it.
yeah,
It's so I mean it's got to be exciting. And so you read a story, and I don't know we can really
mm,
talk about the story. We're going to talk about it a little bit. We can't really talk about it a lot though. Um,
yeah,
I always tell the authors the same thing. Look, you can give me like, a little bit and a little bit, but you can't really give me any more than that. So, I mean, so how do you feel? We won't even get into it. Let me ask you this. How do you feel about drawing for this story? Do you feel like you got it in you to say, okay, I've read this person's story and I'm gonna do a cover for it? Because I always
mm,
wondered what I always wonder what's the thinking in y'all's brains when you first decide you're gonna do a cover from something you just read.
yeah. So at first, it's like very intense reading. Like I read the stories for several times, and I like for this story specifically, I found like I it's really relatable because it's kind of like about like relationship between a cat in the cyberspace with its owner, and like through technology they can kind of communicate with each other again. And like at that time it's also like the time where I just lost like my own cat, so I felt like wow, this story was for me. And I just dive into sketching and just use my cat as a model, and like just remembering like the moments I spent with my cat. And that's how I did the sketches. And for the story, I didn't got a chance to contact the author, but I did worked with my art director and got very useful feedbacks from her. And the whole illustration process, I wanted to be more emotional provoking because the story itself is such a unique way like to like talk about technology and also talk about just relationship between two friends, like human and a cat. So I chose a traditional watercolor as a medium as opposed to digital editing, and later to make it be more suitable for printing, I use digital editing to add some other effects and do some very moderate um, change to the cover, and that's how it was done.
See, well, see, you got it worked out. So we always talk about this on this show that the cover can
Mm.
make the book and sales. I've said this a million times probably now. There's been many books I bought. I said, "Oh, I like that cover," and then I read the story. I was like,
Mm.
"Son of a." Obviously, the illustrator was better than the author was. But
Yeah.
but 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 there's a lot of times you read you see the cover and it tells you in the book is actually really really good. So that's always a
Right.
plus too. It's just you never know. So I'm think I'm 14 books into the Writers of the Futures. I started at
Oh.
I haven't read 40 yet because I haven't got it yet, but I know John will send it to me soon, and
Mm.
I'll read it, and then I'll read it again on the airplane out on my way to LA, and I'll probably hit it again the first night I'm there, just to have it fresh in my mind. That way, I have the artwork fresh in my mind, and I
Yeah.
have these stories fresh in my mind because that's how I'm going to pick who I want to interview while I'm there
Mm.
through those kind of things. So I know you're looking forward to being there. So art director, who you had? Did you have like Echo or anybody helping you with this?
Yeah.
How you like Echo? Is she a sweetie pie?
Oh, so sweet.
She's,
Yeah, and she responded my messages like and questions so fast and so efficient. And I
she's
just feel
good.
like yeah, like the whole working process, I also like just learned a lot about like from Echo's perspective as an art director, like some aspects that I haven't thought about before. So it was like truly meaningful experience for me just working on this.
No, she's a hell of an artist. I'll tell you that. I've featured her work. She's been on here. We've done a lot of her work on here. She's been on the show 2 or 3 times, and we've gone through her gallery live. And so in the future, when do you have a website?
Yeah, I have a website.
Okay, so next time you and I meet, we're going to put the website on, and then anything you got on there, we can go through. And I tell people all the time when we're doing this, this is stuff later on in the future. If you need to send out to somebody and say, "Hey, look," instead of saying, "Oh, here, go to my website and look around." So no, here's the
Mm.
interview I did with all my art on it and how I came to this
Ah,
piece, that piece, and this piece. We do these so y'all can use them. So remember that any interview you do with me, you're allowed to use. We don't care what you do with it as long as you give us credit for it. We don't care what you do with it. And
oh,
we want y'all to use them. That's what they're there for.
oh,
You know,
that's awesome. Thank you,
it,
Joe.
because it's going to go out on audio because our audio on it's much bigger than our video, and you're actually on live television right now. We're on Roku
Mm,
television, so
great.
somebody's looking at you on 4K on 70 inches, going, "Oh, look at Karina, how you doing?" I always hate knowing that. When I'm thinking every time I think about that, I say, "Well, I don't want nobody looking at me like that." But it is nice. We have about 100,000 listeners over there finally, so it's
Mm,
going nicely. But it is nice to know people out there watching, but it's so nice when we're showing artwork. So when someone's sitting in their living room or in their bedroom or dining room, wherever, and they're flipping on their TV and they see your artwork come up, they're like, "Oh, wow!" So not only can they see it on their big screen, but they have the ability to zoom in and out, so they can see more detail of the pictures and stuff
mm,
like that. Depending on what kind of TV they got, is really going to depend on what kind of in and out they're going to get. But if you got a decent television, you're going to get some pretty good zooms.
yeah.
Oh, and Carrie, you're right. Your Zoom was Roku has built-in Zoom itself, so you can double zoom. You can zoom in from Roku, and then you can zoom in from your TV. And you go,
Yeah.
look at this little spot. What is this little dot for? It's so your favorite mediums. What is it that you really like to draw, paint, digital? I mean, I know a lot of people like digital now.
Mm, I personally prefer still like traditional art, and my favorite medium is watercolor because
Mm,
it's very difficult to
it
like a
is.
100% like control how it's gonna look. So I think like it gives me just freedom to um like kind of collaborate with my medium instead of like me as a as a single artist like putting all of my thoughts on the paper because I think like for watercolor, it still has a lot of effects that digital cannot do, especially just how it kind of documents like my working environment in a way like the speed of the color or pigment dry depends on like how dry my room is, so like the speed of my painting can be like shown on the page, and that's I think like very fascinating about this medium. But I also done a lot of digital art. The reason why I still prefer traditional art is like the making process. I feel like traditional art um, allow me to take time to think about each step a little bit more. Digital art gives me a lot of freedom to make changes and make mistakes, but um, I just feel like in long-term growth as an artist, um, I prefer using traditional media.
That's and it's a good thing. I mean, it's a hard decision because I know you can go work for companies doing digital art, but
Right.
selling traditional art a lot of times comes in at much higher prices. So you
Yeah.
see watercolors, and see down here you see a lot of watercolor because I live in the deep south. I live on
Oh.
the Gulf Coast actually, so it's something we see down here. We see
Mm.
oil, we see watercolors, and one of the things I like about watercolors myself is when you go from like a green to a blue to a teal to a pink. I mean, they kind of overlap a little bit, and they kind of
Yeah.
you got that little section where the color changes a little bit. You really, I know you can't really control that because it's whatever the mix, however wet it is, or how much ever pigmentations in there is what affects it.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
but you see a lot of it that then there's a lot of good. There's some good people. There's some not so good people, but you see them out there like down here. You'll see them during this
Mm.
time of year, all the way until the end of summer. You'll see them at all the different festivals selling them, and you'll see prices anywhere from $20 to $2,500. Just depends on the
Wow.
artist, and of course the quality of the picture itself. But it's an interesting thing. I'm a big personal fan of oil for some reason. I always have been.
Mm.
Probably because I'm as old as dirt, but
Nah.
I'm as old as the oil. Let's just say it that way. It's but it is interesting to me to watch them. So so when did you decide that you wanted to be? Well, let me ask you this: when did you find out that you actually had talent? I guess is the best question to ask. And when did you decide you wanted to be an artist?
Oh, I wanted to be an artist from a very young age.
I hear that from all y'all
Yeah,
artists.
I mean, like, I think like a lot of people would say that, but I think like for me, I came from a educational background. Like I grew up in Beijing, and the education system is so strict, and like people
Mm,
value art a bit less than computer science, math, or like your parents want you to become a lawyer in the future.
yes, something makes a lot of
So
money.
yeah. So yeah, like for me, I was spending a lot of time actually just doodling on my textbook and like making changes to the characters that printed on the textbook. And I got into a lot of trouble for like being the art kid. um, but later in high school, I was debating between whether I would go into study psychology or biology, or I want to be an artist. And it was till like I went on a volunteer trip to Cambodia, and I taught Mandarin, English, and
Mm,
art to an orphanage there. And I feel like art is the thing that makes me feel like I'm like my life is so good, and like I can help people with it. And that's like what pushed me to apply to schools like in the US, and also just like for my latest path, like I want to become a artist and also an art therapist. So I want to take art making to the clinical setting, and help people with psychological disorders, and just help people who are suffering from pain or just language barriers, who are minorities in the US, to teach them how to use art to tell their own stories. And that is my passion right now. But I think it also comes along the way, like just my experience, and like my very like my very amazing experience, just like get to know more people, and get to be in different culture settings, um helps me um like care about more of the interdisciplinary setting of art, and just scientific research. So I think now I've done like a lot of reading about like how art making or like just color can affect your psychology.
hmm.
And that is my passion for now. Like and my dream is to get a license and be certificated in the state, so that I can do my art therapy
Well,
practice.
I want to know how this works out. So keep me informed as you get into this. I'd like to know how this because there's a lot of people out there that need help, girl. I'm just saying. I'm not going to get into why, but there's a lot of people out there could use some serious help right now.
Mm.
Uh, the world seems to be acting a little bit strange. There's a lot of things that over the years I was glad to see that the U.S. and Hong Kong and Beijing were able to kind of. I know our country's governments can't get along, but it seems
Mm.
like the people have learned how to get along with cross and with culture crossing. So you see a lot of Americans going to China, you see a lot of Chinese coming to America, and
Yeah.
it's different. Even though we have governments that just for some reason can't get along, but the government should take a look at the people and say, well, the people get along. Why can't we get along? What is it that is what is it that seems to be what stands in the way? But anyway, one of them days they'll work that out. And I'll probably be 5,000 years old by then, but still, they'll get it worked out. But it's still nice to see because United States is a young country as countries go.
Mm.
China has so much culture to offer for any kind of artist from the U.S. who wants to go there. So someone growing up there, it's different. You grow up to it's like growing up in New Orleans. You're used to it, so you see everything that's in the backyard. So when you travel, that's always part of you. So for someone like you, growing up in the culture, you understand that you can see it, you can make it part of whatever you do. But for
Mm.
people from here, they can't. They're just seeing whatever stupid thing they see on TV that might be Chinese related, and half the time probably isn't Chinese to start off with. That's the sad part. So it's just nice to see. I've been seeing more and more of this over the last 2 decades, and it really makes me happy to see it. because if all the people get close, eventually the governments will have to. What is that, Chris? Well, we got to go to about 4 minutes. What, Chris? What you got? No, she said she likes doing. I was going to say oil. She likes doing watercolor.
Mm.
Yes, watercolor is pretty. You got to be good though. I mean, it's not watercolor is not something that just anybody can pick up and do. I just want to warn y'all. You think it's easy when you look at it, but it's not. It takes
Yeah.
a little more skill than you realize when you get up there. I've heard Echo and Don DeSantis talk about this. When I'm doing interviews down there, and because they get into each medium on how it works and what's going on. Frankie, we're going to do AI, but not today. In the future, we get so many questions about AI. It's gotten ridiculous. It,
Yeah.
it's have you so are you so let me ask you this, so you out selling stuff, you working, or you doing something else? Because I know we've got to bring a storm on in a minute, but it's I'm just curious. I mean, have you started doing this for a living, or are you still just in the
Uh,
phases of winning some big prizes?
well, I'm still at school, so I'm
Well, that's
still
good.
like a senior at my undergrad, and I'm going to graduate study soon. But now, since I'm international student, I'm not allowed to like make profits here.
Oh well, that okay. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say what that is, but I can't use that language, but still, I mean, I wonder why that is. I'm gonna have to do a show and I have to find out why that is. I don't see why it
Mhm.
matters. I mean, especially if you're having to pay for living here and getting stuff and living. Even if I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day, who's in England right now going to school. They pay for everything, but they don't pay for actually everything. Like if he wants,
Mhm.
he wants to eat, he wants to get a Coke or something, he has to come in with that money. And so he's got some job and some club time. This guy's getting a degree in advanced physics. And he's working some
Yeah.
pub. So it's funny as hell listening to him talk about it.
Mhm.
But I know we got to get you out of here because we got Storm waiting to get on. But anything you want to tell? All right, tell them where they can find your website for sure.
Oh, yes. So if you search for carinazhangart.com, you will see my website. And I can also just send you the link
Yeah,
later.
yeah, when you get a
I
chance,
put a
send it
lot of
because
stuff on it.
well, no, that's good. The more, the merrier. So send me the link. That way, when I catch up with you. So anybody's art we haven't done on this show, we're going to do when we're in LA. So that just guarantees you an interview because we're going to do your art. So sometimes I'll catch up with you. I'm going to be there for 8 days. So sometime probably in the first 3 or 4 days, I like to let everybody get a day or two to get acclimated to what's going on because it's a busy schedule, and
Yeah.
they work. I'm not gonna lie to you, they work the hell out of y'all, and
Yeah.
a lot going on. There's a lot of big name teachers there that make big money. And then for like the authors, there's a lot of big authors there who have movie credits to them. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of really intelligent people here that can really make a difference in your career and in your life and the way you go. I've seen a lot of illustrators come out of this and within a year or two start making some big money. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's a little bit easier. I shouldn't say this, but I think it's a little bit easier for the illustrators than it is for the authors. I don't know
Mhm.
exactly. Well, there's in today's world, there's such a need for illustration everywhere. I mean, just on my little radio network, which has 40 hosts and does about 200 hours a week, we have a lot of illustration that goes through here.
Mhm.
And matter of fact, we even make most of our hosts learn how to use certain types of equipment so they can edit their own banners and stuff like. Because there's a lot of stuff that goes through, like
Yeah.
just like the banner behind you. That was, now my own banner for my other show, my UFO show.
Oh.
It was done by AI. Shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. It's what happened was is Jeff Weiner was on. He had won that year at Writers of the Future, and he was on. He said he called me and said, "Joe, we got to talk about this AI stuff." And I hadn't really heard that much about it. And I brought him on, and this was about 2 years ago, but I brought him on. So he said, "Let me show you what I mean." He said, "I'm gonna make you a new banner for you, show you." And he types in, and this really nice banner pops up like 40 seconds later. I'm like, "What the?"
Ah.
I'm like, "This is some BS." I mean, don't get me wrong, I was happy for the banner, but I just felt like this was not a good thing for
Mm.
illustrators. But I talked with a gentleman down here in New Orleans who owns a gaming company down here, and he
Mhm.
said he has about 300 people working for him right now. Everybody makes 100 grand to start. So he told me what he's going to do is he's going to keep his storytellers, his storyboard writers, and all of his artists, and what he's going to have them do. So it takes him like 5 years to do a decent game right now. So with
Mhm.
AI and all of his people, that's going to change. So he's going to have the authors and the illustrators watch the AI. They're gonna put everything together, and then they're gonna put it in the AI, and then they're gonna work with the AI to make sure that the story and the art that's coming out is what is going to be for this game. So everybody
Yes.
gets a job. Plus, they get to use the AI to make things. They said it'll cut 3 years off the gaming process. So that's a good thing for the gamers, not such a good thing for the people who are working there. But he said, why they were, we're just going to move on to another project. They're not getting fired. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, well, as long as you go, you know, what I mean, as long as they're moving on to other projects, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I really do. But we got to let you get out of here, Karina, because we got Storm down here. Storm said he's about to throw some lightning bolts on our asses if we don't let him up here soon. He's like, but
Okay.
I'm glad we got it worked out. I look forward to seeing you in LA. I hope you have a good time out there. I mean, Echo and all of them are really good teachers. They really know what they're doing, and they really get.
Oh,
And
great.
I'll tell you, like I tell everybody else, if for some reason you want to talk to somebody and you feel nervous or something, just you'll see me walking around the place. I'm all over the place. Just say, "Hey, Joe, can you introduce me?" I do that. I've been doing that since I've been there. I introduce. Yeah, I'll walk right into a crowd. Hey, this is such and such. She wants to know about this, and then well, because you know it's overwhelming sometimes with all the winners. And my first year there with them was a year after COVID, so there was 24 of everybody. It was 24 illustrators, 24 authors. So it was hard to get people's attention. So I just come on with me. I grab like 5 at a time, walk up to Dean Leslie Smith. Hey, Dean, how you doing? They want to know how to do how to set up their corporation. And he'd tell them, oh, well, you don't need none of that for right now. You just need this sole proprietorship. And then he'd walk them through all the way up to a real corporation. So, I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. It's not just, you don't just learn the fine things about being an artist. You learn how to run a business and how to establish your business. So that's a big plus. Also, how to meet people, and you'll be surprised how many people watch this thing for people that come work for them. But again, I got to let you get out of here. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with us today. I look forward to seeing you LA, and then y'all don't forget to go visit her website during the week show. So what is it? 2 weeks? Huh? Yeah, 2 weeks. Not even 2 weeks, is it? I think it's like 13 days or something. Oh man. Anyway,
Fly to Hollywood.
yeah. So when you going out? Friday, Saturday, Sunday? When they got you coming out? I know they plan on doing courses early. Yeah.
Friday.
See, I think they're bringing everybody in Friday because they're planning on starting their courses because the gala's on a Thursday this year, which is weird. It's weird to me. I'm like, it's ever since I've been there, it's been on a Friday. But what am I caring? I get to go hang out and hobnob with everybody. But again, thanks for hanging out. Storm, you ready, man? We got Storm Humbert down there. Oh, thank you. I had a great time, Karina. I really did. So, like I said, I can't wait to see you. And you know, remember, we're going to be showing you art next time. So just keep in the back of your head how you want to talk about it or how you want to express it. And then you'll be able to talk about the artwork for the book. And we'll be able to talk about that. And we'll be able to talk about, you know, some of the stuff you've been learning with the teacher. So a little bit different type of interview. And it's a little bit longer. You know, usually it'll run at least an hour or so, or longer if we're doing artwork. Sometimes if we're doing artwork, they'll end up going 2 hours. So, well, you know, you got a lot of stuff to show. We want to get it shown. We want people to see what you can do, you know. And like I said, then you can use that to sell art to anybody. But again, thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna bring Storm over here to hang out with us right quick while you're still here. Say, hey, Storm, say hi to Karina.
Hi. Hi, Karina.
Yeah, he's when were you? What were you? 36? Book 36?
Yep, volume 36.
Volume 36. Former winner coming to hang out with us today. See? And you know, one of the other things I like about Writers of the Future is if you happen to be in their area, like, you know, they do Dragon Con, the San Diego Con, and the Utah thing, and the Miami thing, and the Canadian thing. If you're around, they'll usually invite you to come display your art or sign books or whatever, which is another way to get out there. Yeah, Dragon Con is great for that. You know, you'll learn a lot of stuff at Dragon Con. You'll get to meet a lot of people anyway. And hanging around with Sarah and Emily and watching them sell shit is like a science in itself, man. Them two girls can sell some stuff. I'm telling you. They get some water to the Pope, the holy water to the Pope. I ain't got no doubts at all. There we go, Mr. Pope. You got a holy water here. Get some from here, even though he could bless it. But again, thanks for hanging out, and I look forward to seeing you in LA. And Storm, you ready, baby?
Yep, already.
See ya.
Thank you, boo. Thank you. It's and let's see, put that over here. Now we're gonna skip the music. Somebody's trying to throw some music in there. So how you been, man?
I've been really well. How about yourself?
I could be busier, but you know, other than that, I'm good. A friend of mine said, she said, I didn't like the way you answered that. I was on his show. And he goes, I said, no, I'm good. I said, I feel good. I'm healthy. I'm not, you know, I said, I just usually this time of year, my other company's way busier. So I'm kind of, It's getting me in trouble, is what it's doing. Too much free time gets me in trouble.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to LA with a lot of extra energy, so that's never a good thing, man. But at least some of my cohorts aren't going to be there this year, so I won't get in as much trouble. Tom Woods is not there. He's just bad, man. He's
Tom Woods is so nice. I like Tom.
Yes, he's a bad influence, man. You see, you don't hang out with him. He's a bad influence. Y'all can't hang out with us when y'all going on the week. I got with him the first year I was there. I was hanging out with him and Echo. The Echo broke her foot. We had to carry her down. It was hilariously funny, man. It was insane. I didn't even know these people from Bean at the time. I know I'm pretty good now. So where you at? What you got up? I mean, you got some new out, or you got some new stuff coming out, or?
I got a lot of new stuff actually.
Man, let's talk about it.
The thing at the bottom, me and you talked about the big cohort, the 24 of each. I was in that year, and so all of us started like a small press. 6 of us own it and run it.
Yeah, I remember y'all talking about something about that, or somebody was talking about something about.
That's Calendar of Fools. I'm the managing member, so I sign all the checks and do all the taxes and all that stuff. But that's annoying. But it's it's fun, really cool thing, like getting us kind of all more in tune with making our own projects, publishing our own stuff. We're doing our second Kickstarter right now. First one was successful. This one's like 83% funded, I think, already. We've got 10 or 12 days left. And this is my first editing gig, so I'm the editor of this anthology that's coming out. But it's called Intergalactic Rejects. And the theme is rejected stories, because anyone who's tried to publish short fiction for a long time knows that, like, so once you send a story to a magazine, even if it gets all the way to the editor's desk, if they say no, you can never send it back there again until they get a new editor. So even if it gets really close and they say no, it's dead there. So if you do that 10 or 15 times, you have no more pro markets to send that story to. So there's a lot of great stories out there that just happen to not hit right. And there's no filter at the bottom of the market to catch that stuff and still put it out there. So we wanted to make an anthology that's just based on doing that. So we have 8 anchor authors that we got. We got Robert Sawyer, Chip Delaney, Okochiwe, Donald Ekpeki. We got Kevin J. Anderson, Rebecca Moesta, Greg Bossert, Jean Marie Ward, David Boop, and William Joseph Roberts. And then after we fund, we'll do 8 more. So we'll publish newer authors alongside all those really famous ones.
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, it's good that the older authors will even get involved. You know, it's one of the things I like about a lot of the people I've met at Writers of the Future. These are authors that seem to want to engage and truly want to see other people succeed. You know, a lot of times people don't want to see you succeed because you're competition. But not with these guys. I guess these guys are established enough that, you know, they're like, no, I got enough money in the bank that it's not gonna really hurt me. And I'd like to see some new stuff out there and some new people. And you never know when they see somebody they might want to co-write something with, or maybe do some kind of trilogy or something. You just never know how it's going to work out. The next Dune or something. Frank, don't even start with me about Dune tonight. No, I will see them in LA in a couple of weeks. Yes, I don't even want to hear about Dune. No. Until I see part 2, I don't want to hear nothing about it.
Yeah, I still need to see part 2 also.
Yes, what do you mean? I don't think it's available down here.
It's
I haven't
out
seen
theater.
it anyway. Oh, is it? Well, I just ain't paying attention. That's all that is. No, Frank, you know I ain't going to theater. I got a 90-inch TV in my bedroom with surround sound. When it comes out, I'll watch it right there. Well, because that way I can't get excited. I mean, some little kid might be sitting next to me, I conk him in the head or some shit. No, I enjoy. You know, I used to like going to movies, and then once we got big screen TVs, I was like, wow, there ain't no reason to go to a movie anymore. No, I got a nice surround. The studio sound is 1,600 watts, so I can get serious if I want to. But the one in our bedroom is like 350 watts or something. Yeah, it's just a basic Sony surround sound system for your TV. It's nice. It says it's 800 watts, but that's BS. It's not 800 watts. It's about 350. But it's still nice. But I mean, so you got all this good coming out. Oh, Randy. Kickstarters are basically, I haven't really seen much but authors and illustrators on Kickstarter. I'm sure there's other stuff, but
it's getting really big with authors on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That big one last year, $54 million.
Yes, and see, so people, Kickstarter is something you go. So let's say you've got a novel out and you want to get it out. You can put it on Kickstarter, And then, but you have to set a goal. So if you set a goal of 5,000 and you get 4,888, you don't get the money. No, you've got to go past whatever your thing is.
Yeah, so it's all or nothing.
If you say 5,000, you got to go 5,001 if you're going to get the money.
Yeah, our current goal is 5,100, and we're at like 4,250.
And for anybody listening to this, I would advise you to have at least a following of at least 1,000 people if you're going to get on Kickstarter. That way they can tell their friends and other friends. And I've had people ask me why we don't put archives on Kickstarter, but that just seems messy. I don't even know how that would work, and I don't even know if you can put audio on. I've never even looked.
Do what?
Somebody was just asking me how come we sell some of our archives. We have special shows that get sold on the network, and they were asking me how come we don't put them on Kickstarter. And I'm not even sure. I guess you could do like a package of 10 shows or something and put them up there for X amount of dollars. I don't know, guys. I have no idea. Now let's grab this while we're looking at this. And what's that, Ronnie? No, really, it's. Look, the first time I was even found out about Kickstarter is when your boy hit the $54 million thing. They were talking about it. I'm like, what is a Kickstarter? How did they get $54 million? I was like, what the bleep? And Wesley Dean was talking about it. I was like, what, who, what, where? Because I was completely off. And who the hell is this? And
yeah. I mean, it's becoming a big part of, especially indie and self-publishing, is people getting on Kickstarter and it's basically a pre-sale mechanism. That's functionally how it works. Most of the rewards you're selling are copies of the book, like pre-selling the copy so you know how many you're going to print. But you can also offer lots of other rewards too. Like we are offering Tuckerizations, which is when you pay to have a character named after you in a story. So people can go on there and they can buy those. They can buy T-shirts. They can buy copies of our last anthology, which was called Inner Workings. There's lots of cool, fun stuff that you can do through Kickstarter to engage with your audience.
Let's add this to our conversation.
Yeah, there we are.
Yeah, so let's move some of this stuff out the way. So this is what we were just talking about. This is the Kickstarter Storm was talking about. Well, you're better. You tell them more about this because you're probably more literate with this than I am.
Oh, yeah, sure. So when you're an author, you deal with rejection a lot. It can really get you down. Even once you start to publish regularly, which a lot of us calendar fools are, even once you win major awards, you can still get a lot of rejections, and not only can it get you down, but it can make you feel sometimes like you're not very good at it. So we wanted to do it for two reasons. We wanted to, one, print like a physical object that young writers can buy and have in their house. So when they get piled on with those rejections, they can go and they can open it up and they can read all these great stories and say, all of these stories were rejected, 10 or 20 or 30. We have one that was rejected 47 times, and they're all by award-winning authors who are accomplished, and everyone gets rejected. So me getting rejected doesn't mean that I'm bad at this. Like, just basically you should keep going. But we also, like I said before, wanted to create a market to actually collect some of those stories that fall through the cracks of the short fiction marketplace, because there's currently nothing like around to catch them when they fall. And so readers don't ever get to see a lot of them. But so yeah, we've got 11 days to go, and about $823 is what we need. And we have a lot of cool freebies lined up. Like once we get 5 more backers, everyone will get another free ebook. If we get to 125 backers, we have another free ebook lined up. We have stretch goals for if we exceed our goal, like I think around 5,500, we'll get a forward from Neil Clark. If we get to 5,800 or so, I think we have a copy of Kevin J. Anderson's Zombie PI novel to give away. Everyone will get a free ebook of that. So we have a lot of stuff that freebies lined up and extra bonus content as stretch goals. So that we can keep adding value for backers, and so we can hopefully, the more stretch goals we hit, the more we can pay for our slush stories too. Right now we're funding for 5 cents a word. But if we hit just one stretch goal, we'll be up to semi-pro rate at 6.
There you go, guys. You're not that helping people. I mean, look, they're not asking for huge amounts of money or anything. So, get out, do something, get involved, spend a little cash. I know it's tight right now. I'm not going to get anybody about being cheapskates this time, because I know everybody's paying 4 times as much as they were just 3 years ago, but still, it's not really an excuse. because I know a lot of y'all got raises since then. So get out there and spend some of that money.
Well, the other thing is, even if the project isn't for you, even just sharing it, spreading it around helps to amplify its visibility, gets us in front of more people. So even just sharing it helps a lot.
Yes, it does. Guys, make it go viral, spread it around, pass the word around, help out. It's all y'all have Facebook pages. I know, this show does about 1 million to 1.2 million listeners. I know all y'all have Facebook pages and Instagram pages and TikTok pages. Just put it on your page. Yeah, one person might click it, but put it on your page. It doesn't really matter. I tell people all the time, don't be scared to post stuff on pages. It's your page, and I mean, I don't want to hear about Facebook going to throw you off of Facebook. That's not true. Facebook's not going to throw you off. If you see some of my hosts post on their Facebook pages and still have Facebook page, you have nothing to worry about. Trust me. And as far as mine, I have business accounts. They don't throw business accounts off because they get sued for that. So they just leave the business accounts alone. Well, no, really, they leave the business accounts alone. Yeah, it's. Well, I tell people all the time, if you're going to be controversial, the way to go is a business account. Mm-hmm. You're way less likely to get in trouble on a personal account. You're getting tossed, buddy. You can forget it. They're not even going to play with you. They're just going to toss you. They're going to be like, "Oh, we don't care about this." Randy, what are you talking about? Who are these people that we're looking at as we go by? I mean, what are you talking about? Who?
Yeah, we have 3. There's only been 29 science fiction grandmasters, and we have 3 of them in here as anchor authors.
Yeah, so no, you can read people as I'm going through. This is what he's talking about. Anchor authors. There's this poor guy. I torture him every year. Somebody said,
Robert's nice.
Yeah, somebody tells me, they go, he's like a really important author. I'm like, what the hell has that got to do with anything? He's like, well, I said, look, I said, I don't discriminate. Rich, poor, in between, I'm going to torture you. It doesn't matter to me. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine the other day goes, yeah, I seen you torturing one of your customers. This guy's got to be worth $150 million easy. He owns a huge construction company and he sells specialty cars on the side. I mean, when I say talking specialty cars, I'm talking, $1 million, $3 million, $7 million. And I'm like, yes, I was giving him hell. I was like, what is with you? I said, boy, for somebody's riches, you sure hell are a cheapskate. He's like, Joe, I said, I don't work for you. You can't fire me, buddy. So I was like, don't get offended. He's like, I said, spend that money. I spent a lot of money. He said, hey, I bet you do. He had a hard time. I think he split up with somebody and they took a little money. I think the other half took a big chunk. Hey, it happens. But people like these guys, these are the guys who really, when you're talking about fantasy or sci-fi or God, at least a dozen other genres, these are the guys that are ones making them famous. I mean, you can go back. What do you mean, Dune? The first Dune? No, he was a judge for Writers of the Future. What are you talking about? He didn't know about writers. He was one of their judges. His son's still a judge.
Is that?
Yeah, they were Frank Herbert.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't get his name out for a second there, but
speaking of Frank Herbert, Kevin J. Anderson's the next one down, and he writes all the new Dune stuff.
He writes all the new Dune stuff with the son, right? Or the
Brian Herbert, yeah.
Yeah, so no, we're serious. So this the guy we're talking about here, he does a lot of this writing. If you've seen, I can think of 5 Dunes. If you've seen them, you've probably seen some of his work in them. What do you mean? What do you mean the family of Dune? You're talking about when the sister's ruling and the son's running around like a crazy person. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I don't know if that's the name of it or not. I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he had something to do with those as well. Dune is a funny thing, people. There was the original Dune, and then they tried to remake the original Dune the first time, which was, I don't know, it wasn't horrible. It just didn't feel right. And then we had the Children of Dune, is what you're talking about, and then there was something after that, and then there was this new Dune, which you can't tell if it's good or not because the first half was nothing. I mean, that was the boring part of Dune. I mean, there was nothing going on. There was no serious acting required, other than when his father died. There was just no serious acting required. So, no, he can't come back. They killed him off. You're talking about Gurney Idaho? Yeah, Duncan Idaho. Yes, Duncan Idaho. But you were calling him by his real name, Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
He's going to be in the new series. There's a new series coming out. He's going to be in it. Yes, it's like the prequel to all of this stuff. So he's going to be in that. They were talking about it the other day. And but I know a lot of people wish he would have stayed in there. And the guy playing Gurney Halleck's pretty good. And well, that was Picard's role, wasn't it? In the first one, Gurney Halleck. Yeah, that was Patrick Stewart's role in the first one. That's when my first time I ever seen Patrick.
Right?
Yeah, that's who it is now. And so look, I'm not saying anything bad about the new Dune. I've so far been fine with it. I won't know how much I like it until we see part 2. When all the shit hits the fan, then I'll know. Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see part 2. I've heard really good things.
Yeah, so have I. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. Well, we might get lucky. Sometimes they do a review. I mean, whatever they call them at Writers
screening.
Yeah, screening. So we might get lucky.
Yeah, Kevin screened the first Dune for us while we were there.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, and that was so nice, people. Yeah, nobody. That was before it was even out, so everybody got to see it and had a good idea of what was going on with it. Well, that's one of the advantages to being there. We're just telling you. Of course, you've got what's his name? Was it Tim Powers? Technically, he is Caribbean movies. Is that am I right? Yeah. No. What did he? Which one he wrote? Oh, what was the damn book he wrote? He never got credit for it. Then he finally got credit for it. Oh man, why can't I remember that? And I've heard this damn book 100 times. No, this is what all of the Caribbean movies are based on. This one book, or on that first book. And what the hell was it? Oh well, I guess when I see him, I'll ask him.
Treasure Island, is it?
No, I can't remember. It was damn, I just can't. And it's right on the right on the tip of my tongue too. Well, if y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all can tell us. But it was Stranger Tide, I think is what it was called.
Oh.
And I think that's what it was. I'm not 100% though, so don't hold me to it, people. But I think that's what it was called.
That was one of the movie subtitles for I think the second or third Pirates of the Caribbean movie. It was called On Stranger Tides.
Yeah, so he wrote it. He never gave him credit for it. I think he just finally settled with it and got his money and got his title. Well, you know, Hollywood's like that. You can't expect if they can get something for free, they're going to get it for free. You know, you got to pay those authors, and when you're talking these kind of movies. You know, usually an author is going to make a little chunk of money. Well, authors don't get so much up front as they do as the movie progresses. Well, it depends on the author. It depends. Let me rephrase it. If you're like one of these super famous authors, that's different. Yeah, they're going to give you a big bunch of money up front. But for other authors, they'll usually maybe pay you a decent wage and then say, okay, 5%, 10%, 20%, depending on who you are. And then you could actually see some good money coming in. But just think about J.K. Rowling's books.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, those alone when they came out, I mean, her first book, she probably didn't make a lot of money off of. You can bet by book 3, though. She was bankrolling it, baby.
Well, most of her money off of the different rights that she had for the toys and the world and all this.
Oh yeah, she's worth. The other day I was looking. She's worth $1 billion.
Yep.
And what's his name that played Harry Potter is worth $33 million. Somebody said, well, that doesn't seem fair. I said, well, he's not the only one that got paid on that movie, people.
Right.
I said, there's a huge cast on those 10 movies, and everybody got paid, not including all the production staff and all the scenes and all the places. I said, yeah, I don't know. You know, she might be worth $1 billion, but we don't know what originally was coming out, you know, because nobody really knows. What do you mean? I'm not a fan of J.K. Rowling. I'm a fan of her writing. I'm just not a fan of hers. Yeah, no, you can be both. Yeah, you can be both. There's a lot of authors that I really like their stuff. I just don't really like the way they think. Yeah, it's part of it. Because I'm not an ass and I can judge good talent, whether I like their politics or not. I can still see good talent. Yeah, it's just one of them things. Anybody who hurts themselves because they don't like someone's. So let's just say you really like Harry Potter, but you're not going to watch it because J.K. Rowling is a crazy lefty liberal. Well, who is that really hurting? Not her. She's still a billionaire. I don't think she really cares what you think about her politics. So the only person that really hurts is you. And if there's enough of y'all could hurt her financially a little bit, but I'm thinking now. Don't judge the book by the politics. Judge the book by the book. Yeah, that's a better way of doing it. So Storm Guy, you got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, you got a lot of stuff coming out here.
Yeah.
And
we got this and So I have 7 cons that I do in the end of the year. So from June to December, I do 7 conventions.
That's a work freaking load in itself.
Yeah. The biggest one I go to is Dragon Con. So I'll be done at Dragon Con, but I also do Origins down in Columbus, Ohio. So I have a story that comes out in that convention's anthology. I'll be at Gen Con, ReaderCon up in Maine. I'll do PhilCon in Philadelphia. What else? FireCon's online. I'm going to World Fantasy Con in October. Yeah, a lot of big conventions, all on the East Coast.
But if I go to PhillyCon, I'm bringing Martha with me. If I go to PhillyCon, that's my
I love Philly.
31 shot 9mm coming everywhere I go. She's like, somebody said, you don't bring it to California. I said, it's too much trouble to bring it to California. They're like, why? I said, I can't even bring my clips with it. They're like, what are you talking about? You get 9 rounds. I said, no. It has to be a 9-round clip. You can't be a 30-round clip with 9 bullets. They don't go for that. It's got to be. I said, so I just leave it at home. I mean, I do take it on airplanes with me. I got a thing I can carry on board if I wanted to, but I just put it in a case and throw it on there and then throw it and they look at it, make sure it's unloaded on, they send it on the plane. Mm-hmm. It's not really complicated. If you're legal, it's not really complicated to bring your gun across on planes. But now, if you're not legal, you're going to probably end up in prison. That's all I can tell you. Right. So while we're on this, and we got some time, what is your favorite genre? I mean, what do you really like to write in?
So let's see. I've been writing mostly fantasy in the last year or two, just because that's what I want to do for my novel.
Are we talking like straight fantasy, or are we talking like twisted, like with some sci-fi in it?
Epic fantasy. So like really like magic and dragons and stuff like that. But I still write sci-fi short stories from time to time. I have a story that actually it's downstairs, but it just came out from Era Nothingness Press. They had their anthology is called Everyone We Are All Thieves of Someone's Future. So every story is about the last of some resource. And so I have a sci-fi story in there about the last human.
That ought to be interesting. Well, I was thinking about Last Human. How many? There's not really that many stories. I mean, we've got the Omega Man, and then of course we got the one with Will Smith, and really the one with Will Smith was just kind of supposed to be a rewrite of the Omega Man that got a little out of control. And Omega Man had what's his name? Vincent Price was the star. I think it was Vincent Price. One of them was Vincent Price. Anyway, no, when I was a kid, that movie scared the crap out of me. Not today. Today it's just comedy. But when I was a kid, that thing was scary. Oh no! I was like, whoa, what the hell?
Will Smith's version was called I Am Legend.
Yeah, I Am Legend. Yeah, and then and it had its moments. I don't know. Some parts seemed like it was pretty good. Maybe there was some overacting in it. It's hard to say. Jimmy Reed, what do you mean? No, Will Smith he's dead at the box office right now. He said even though Disney's going to try to bank on him for some stuff because he did so good with Aladdin. Everywhere else, every other project he's got is pretty much in the gutter. You walk up and slap somebody, some little dude. Yeah, Will's not a little bitty guy. I mean, he's like 6'1", 6'2". I mean, he just watch up and bitch slap. What's his name? And
Chris Rock.
Yeah, Chris Rock. Chris Rock should have hauled off and kicked him in a where, but I don't know. A lot of people said it was staged. Chris didn't look like it was staged, man. I mean, it might have been. I don't know, but it didn't look like Chris thought it was staged. Maybe he missed or something. I don't know, people. It looked like Will lost his temper over some.
I mean, he resigned from the Academy after that too.
Yeah, he is banned from the Academy. So, Will's not an author. Will's an actor. He's an actor and a rapper. Yeah.
Fresh Prince.
Fresh. Well, actually, Fresh Prince, but he was rapping and acting at the same time. So I guess he came out at the same time.
Yeah.
Will's had some good movies, and Will's been funny. I mean, that was just childish shit he did. That's all.
His first 3 movies, I think he always had a song featured on the soundtrack too. Like especially from he did the theme song for Men in Black.
Yep. I think he did the one for when the aliens came and landed here too. Actually, I think he's got 2 of the Men in Blacks.
Independence Day.
And Independence Day, I think he's got one in there. I think actually he may have a few of them. It's well, he was a rapper, guys, and he wasn't a total.
Welcome to Miami was like his big rapper. The thing I remember him for as a rapper was Welcome to Miami. For most of my life, he's been an actor.
Yeah, well, for me, I just consider him an actor. I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really into his music. That's why. I mean, I'm not hating on his music. I'm just not into it. Well, I have different tastes in music. That's all. You know, if you listen to news on the flip side, you'll know some of the music we listen to. Oh, yeah, that's some hard shit on Friday night. Well, let's see. We've played Iron Maiden. We've played Metallica. You know,
I like classic rock.
Yes, we played some pretty serious rock. What do you mean? He's not rock. He's wussy music. Oh, what's his name? Now you messed me up. The Guns N' Roses guy.
Axl Rose.
Yeah, he's rock, but he's not that. So the very first time I ever seen Metallica was at a Guns N' Roses concert, and I was looking forward to seeing Guns N' Roses. Yeah, they ought to be pretty good. Well, Metallica came on first and made Guns N' Roses look irrelevant. I mean, Metallica just blew them away. I was like, wow. And then 2 weeks later, we heard Metallica was the opening act on the concert tour. They split into 2 different tours.
I mean, growing up, Metallica was all we listened to in the football locker room. Like, it was just, that's all we lifted to, is just Metallica front to back. So I remember, like, that's like,
yes, it was, you know, what? Well, because we'll play like Sandman or whatchamacallit, Tools and just stuff like that we play on the show. But it's not just that. We had some Ozzy on a couple of days ago. I mean, the show is designed because it's news on the flip side. We talk about a lot of hard hitting stuff. We want hard music in between. Somebody sent us, what did they send me? Some kind of bubblegum stuff. I wasn't paying attention. I played it. All 5 hosts were looking at me like, Joe, what is this? I was like, what do you mean, what is this? He said, why don't you put your earplug in and find out what you're listening to? It was bad, is all I can say. I mean, it wasn't a bad song. It was just bad for the show. It's not. But this show is different. I mean, you heard, well, you didn't hear we played again. We were playing, no, not New Orleans Ladies, House of the Rising Sun. Yeah, it's 2 different songs. And we wasn't doing the Animals version. We were doing someone else's version. There's a lot of good versions of that song out there running around. And then I think that tonight's set up to end with Walking in Memphis. So it's just different music for different shows. Yeah, it's a good song. And see, that's what I'm saying. People, first off, I was raised in a big family of women growing up. So I had to listen to a lot of that, what I would call bubblegum music, not just from young ones, but, you know, my mom's generation, all of them. And then, of course, my dad, he was born in 1911, so he listened to a whole different kind of music. So I learned about Johnny Cash and Elvis and all of that. And I was like, Johnny Cash got a couple songs I like listening to. Johnny Cash he did The Nation. I don't know how many of y'all, matter of fact, we used that on News on the Flip Side. The song's called The Nation. And it's a pretty good song. It's The Hurt. I still have a hard time listening to that one. That song just F's me up, man. I'm just like, but getting back to what we're talking about, people stop with just sidetracking us tonight. Y'all are just bad tonight. And again, what is this shit about? Why don't you come into YouTube or Facebook? Stop getting on my messengers. It's ridiculous. I know y'all YouTube. I know, well, we from Pal Talk. We want to be a messenger because it's blue. I want whatever y'all are smoking. I'm just telling y'all. Whatever you people are smoking out there, y'all need to send me some of that. Obviously, y'all are getting something way better than the rest of the planet is. No, I'm serious. What do you mean do I smoke when I'm in California? Because it's legal? Well, you know what? I hate to say this. I would, but I don't have the time. They keep me too busy. And if I smoke, all I'm going to want to do is eat and sleep. Yeah, so I'm just way too busy for that. There's too much going on. And I really need to have my wits about me when I'm talking with multiple different types of people. Well, I'm talking to judges. I'm talking to winners. I'm talking to people at Author Services. I'm talking to people at Galaxy Press and other people out there. And then I'm talking with other press members. And you just got to keep your wits about it. And then we're talking with all the winners. Yes. So you coming out this year, Storm, or no? You're not going to be there? Can you get it?
No, I haven't been back since I won. I'd like to go back. But with my, I've taken on more and more stuff all the time, writing more and more all the time. It's just, without me going out there, like working, like if they're not having me
it's
out,
it's going to be a work thing. Yeah.
like because we have the press now, and I just now, like a few days ago, signed a contract. I'm an executive editor of a new fantasy imprint called Dragon Bray through Ronan Weatherford. So I get
some
to
of the best
acquire and
dragon
publish novels
illustrators.
now.
So if you need dragon illustrators, some of the best ones in the freaking planet or writers of the futures, winners or judges, one or the other. It's I was, matter of fact, I was picking with April and Larry Elmore last year. I was like, I'm not sure which one of y'all bet. Larry said, I know who's better. I was like, I know, Larry. I said, because I said, you sure? Because April's pretty good. But I got with her and her, Larry, Nancy, Tom, and 2 others. And sooner or later we're gonna have a little dragon draw. I want to get like 8 or 10 of them. I want 4 winners and 4 judges, and just let them have a dragon run off and see who wins. We'll just donate the money to charity or something. But
that would be cool.
And that way we can just see who it is, and they can sell the prints. Well, because regardless. I mean, Tom did one of the book covers. Larry did a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I've seen
Tom's
April
book cover is sweet.
Yeah, and I've seen a couple of others work. So I mean, there's definitely some competition there. Well, Frankie Lee, sometimes a student becomes better than the master. It becomes the teacher, man. That stuff just happens sometimes. Yeah. Well, let me real quick. Let me explain this to y'all right quick. So, a lot of the winners at Write of the Future are not young kids, especially when it comes to the authors. I found most of the authors are like 35 to 45. I'm not even sure why. Just seems to be the age when they really seem to get. There's younger and there's older. I mean, some of the winners have been 60 and 70 years old. Some of the winners have been 17, 18 years old. But the majority seem to fit. Now, when you get into illustrators, that's a whole different thing. Illustrators seem to be much younger. 25 years old, usually on average. They're just much younger. Well, also too, they have to watch out because they can burn out faster than the authors will. The authors won't burn out as fast because authors learn somewhere along the line to take their whatever breaks they need to get into their stuff, back off their stuff. They know when they got writer's block. Illustrators always try to force it, regardless of what's going on. So, and this is just from the 100 or so illustrators I've interviewed in the last 5 or 6 years, or about the last 10 years, and then authors. I mean, on this network, we've had over 2,000 authors on this network, and some of them really big names. And then we've had, the biggest author we've ever had, I don't know. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Michio Kaku, probably. Yeah, he had just come off of like a 5 million book sale when he came and did my show. Not this show. He came and did UFO on the Cover, which is amazing. He even came on there. And within 3 weeks, he had sold another 5 million books. He was just sitting at #1 forever. I read the book. He sent me the book. I wouldn't have paid money for that. Mitchell, I love you, dude. And what was funny is he had never been interviewed with somebody with a science background before, a real science background. So he was expecting, because in the show's named UFO on the Cover, he was just expecting some flaky guy. And we're about 40 minutes in the interview. He said, do you have a background in science? I said, I have a bachelor's in advanced avionics and electronics. Oh, okay. That's right. He said, I understand now. He said, I was like, there's no way some layman ass, and that's how he said it, some layman ass host is going to know what we're talking about. I said, the problem is our audience don't know what we're talking about. We geeked out so bad by the top of the next hour, we lost half our audience. They were just, and I got people writing in, what the hell was that? What no, you don't speak English anymore? We got into just geeky science. We geeked out on stepping stone theories and you name it theories. And we got into his book, and we even talked about not Einstein. What was it? Paralyzed, when we talked about his book of unit. Yeah, we talked about his book of Universe in a Nutshell, which is supposed to be physics for laymen, by the way. Let me put it this way. It's physics for laymen who have a physics background. That's the best way I can say it. So what's that, Carly? Carly wants to know, what is your favorite? We just talked about it. He likes fantasy. Oh, you want to know what he likes to write in fantasy? Okay, I got calm down. So she's wanting to know, how do you get into your world creation for your fantasy? Like if you're doing like a dragon thing, what is your working process for that? Because we've been hearing a lot of that lately. I guess that's what she asked.
So it changes depending on where I kind of enter the world. I don't plot, I don't do outlines. I'm a pantser, so I start from nothing and I just go. It can start with an idea for a magic system. It can start with an idea for a character. It can start with it hasn't yet, but theoretically it could start with just thinking of a really cool place with, you know, special setting to have a world. But the one I just started with the idea for a magic system, working with necromancers and versus traditional wizards and that kind of thing. But the novels that I'm currently trying to sell that are done, those started with characters, and so I think I started with a person, and you just kind of because I teach classes on world building and magic systems and stuff like that, but I think I tend to start with a character and just kind of find the world through them and flesh out what I need um, as I go along. But with my novels, I'll eventually hit a spot where I'm like, okay, I need to sit down and just, after I've got my feel for the character or characters, like I need to sit down and write like a 60-page document just about the history of this world, just so I know how we got here. Because a novel like the world has to feel like it's old, has to feel like it started before the reader showed up, and has to feel like it's going to continue after the reader leaves. So at one point you have to sit down, you have to really make a history kind of about the world and the people and the cultures and all kinds of things. But I think for me, it's I get going and then I stop and do that, and then I pick back up. Oh, you're muted. Your mic's off.
Sorry about that. It's yeah. I could do it's weird because I could do a fantasy world in my head, but trying to put that on the paper will never happen. I can go off and fall off into some fantasy world, and I've been able to do it since a young kid. I can even turn it into dreams if I want to, because I learned how to control my dreams. But ask me to put that on paper, or even put it on audio. It's I don't know. My brain and my fingers and hands and something just don't work together. They just I'll start writing something and I'll come back and read it, and I notice I'm missing paragraphs or I'm missing sentences, even though the sentence was in my head.
Yeah.
But my head works faster than my fat ass fingers do, so it just doesn't work. So I've tried putting it in audio, but even there, for some reason, I miss out. I'll miss a paragraph. I'll go back and listen to it. I'm like, well, this ain't right. We're missing something. And then I got to figure out what the hell it is. So I'm like, nope. We'll leave this to the professional authors, and I'll just do what Joe does, and we'll leave this to the authors. It's I don't know.
For the world building, like when I said I write that 60 or 70 page document about the world, the majority of that is never going to see the page. It's just going to be for my knowledge, and like the kind of residual effects or the ripple effects of that history and that cultural knowledge might influence the page, but that direct information usually won't even show up.
Yeah. Well, I can understand that. I mean, that's the influence what you want to come out. I can really understand that. Because when I was a kid, I used to have these horrific nightmares, and I realized I could make myself dream about Star Trek and then change the scene itself. I could just change it, just take the whole story and recreate it into something else. That way, what I was dreaming, wasn't so much that I was participating. At some level I was, but for the most part, I was just changing it so that whatever was scary in it was no longer scary anymore, and it just allowed me to laugh in my brain at sleep. And eventually that helped me get over whatever the hell was scaring the crap out of me. But it was interesting to find that your mind could even do that. I know a lot of people tell me, oh, I don't dream in color. I'm like, well, I do. What do you mean you can change your dreams? I can stop in the middle of a dream and rewrite the damn thing if I want to. And it's one of the things that's a saving grace when you're having a nightmare. I can change what the outcome of the nightmare is, which makes it different.
Yeah.
It's
really interesting.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people seem there's a lot of other condensation search, which I mean, there may be. I mean, I'm not that kind of scientist. I don't know, but it's I do find it very, very interesting. Well, Frank, we could do a whole show on lucid dreaming. We could probably do more than one show on lucid dreaming. No, there's no doubt about that. There's so much information out there. No, so he was talking about this earlier. Somebody was just asking what this was on the screen right here. And I think we talked about that at the beginning, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Intergalactic Rejects is our current Kickstarter project for our next anthology, and the theme is rejected stories. We have 8 anchor authors, and after we fund, we'll do an open call to read 8 more from like aspiring writers. So we'll publish them right alongside these established award-winning authors.
So there you go, people. This is stuff you can get by helping out. It's who's doing y'all's covers? Or should I ask?
So we bought this art from an artist who was exhibiting on ArtGrab. And because we don't have the funding to pay for a commission cover yet, but we do have graphic designers in our cohort. So we bought art, and then David Elsenson, who's one of the winners from 36, along with me, he does graphic design. So he took the image and he made it into this cover.
That's cool. I mean, because it will be a little bit easier on the authors now with different options to do covers and stuff, and because cover art can cost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we hope to at some point be able to commission like illustrators to make us custom covers, but right now we're just making sure that we buy it from actual artists, and then because buying an image for commercial use is pretty affordable as long as you then have the skill to make that into a cover, which we have David for that. But even buying a cover it tends to be pretty expensive. A stock cover can be more expensive than just buying a stock image and making it into a cover. So we're lucky to have that cost saving mechanism.
Yeah, well, it does. It is a saving because we have a couple things that we allow the host to use. We have professional accounts on PicMonkey and a couple other things where you can go in and edit and change and work on stuff and help design stuff. And then of course there's always ChatGPT if you want to use it. But there's a couple of things out there that you can use these days that can really bring in. Well, it can really just save you a lot of money is what it can do. And Jackie, for this saves authors a lot of money in the beginning, which allows them later on, if they have a new title or a new book that comes out or a new anthology or a new novel or something, then they can go out and say, okay, we've done this is successful. Let me try one of these other artists and see how it is. Well, Jimmy, it's all in the contract with the artist because a lot of times artists will send you stuff that you don't like. Well, you don't have to pay for that as long as it's in your contract. Yeah, you need to have it in your contract because you never know where that's going to go.
Yeah, one of the illustrators of the future drew the map for my first novel's fantasy world. It's like sitting above my computer here right in front of me. It's like 26 inches by 23 inches. But yeah, knowing artists is very helpful for making these projects work.
It is. It's always good to help out. Well, I always tell the authors while they're down and when they're down with the writers, when they're down with the illustrators, make some friends down there because you never know who might be able to help you down the line. And it's always good luck for illustrators who are not yet, really getting out there. Doing an author's cover can help their career.
Yeah,
that's something that can jump them up and make a difference in, visible. Well, it's like a game cover. If you do a game cover and that game takes off, your art just went ballistic. And everybody's going to remember that. For shit, they'll be remembering that art from 16 to 60. So it can help you in ways. There's a lot of things that can help. So that's why I tell people don't always be greedy. Think about where you are in life. Don't try to make your whole entire fortune off of one cover.
I like Kevin Anderson's advice. Like when you're early in your career, you can't afford to say no when someone offers you an opportunity.
That's true. That's damn true.
And that's why I keep.
Hey, there's old Zach could be.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach, man. Zach is a troublemaker, man. Tell him next time you talk to him, tell him Josie's a troublemaker, man.
Yeah, Zach's fun.
He is a handful, is what he is. He reminds me of some other person I know that was a winner down there, Chris. He was an Aussie. Now, all of this is a lot of fun, and it's serious for them. It's fun for me because I'm just in here for media. They're in here wanting to make a difference in their life, change their lives. We all got to eat, people, and you can't expect everybody to give everything away for free all the time. I get people all the time ask me, when are you going to give away more books? We've been giving away, last year, I think we gave almost 3,000 books. This year, we're scheduled to give away more than that. That's a lot of books. I said, that's why we can't sell no books, because y'all done gotten used and spoiled to giving them away. Y'all know at Christmas I'm going to give them all away.
Yeah. That's the other thing with Kickstarters. We have it set up so the more backers that we get, the more free books we give away to all the backers. So like the more backers we reach, the more free books they get.
Get in there and get some back and get you some free books. Well, the only book I'm giving away right now is not today, but we got one more David Hankins book to give away, The Death of a Tax Salesman.
Oh,
well, no, we got one left to give away. He no, because that's my copy. Yeah, I almost accidentally gave away my copy. No, all my copies are autographed. I'm not giving away my autograph. You never know, this guy might become the next big thing. I said, well, look, I got an autographed copy worth $500,000, man. The only one like it. It's no, because I got dual. So I've got him in the original where he won book. I've got him on this book, and then I've got the short story in between book. Nobody's got that but me. You ought to see the stuff I got with Tom Wood and them. I've got unique things where not only did I have the authors and illustrators sign, but at the gala I had their family members sign. Yes, nobody else has those. I think about things, man, because you never know. Well, no, I'm old, but I got a kid, man. He might decide he likes to read too. You never know. You never
I love signed copies. Like ever since I've been meeting more of the authors I like, I love getting my books signed.
Well, to make this short, before Hurricane Katrina, we had, I think, over 5,000 books in the house. We had actually a little mini Linden library for like paranormal and ufology and fantasy stuff. And people could take them and bring them back. People were always donating stuff, but everything in the library was signed. Everything. You know, every ufologist, a paranormal researcher, scientist, didn't matter who they were I talked to, signed the book. And there's usually not just Hello Joe, there was actually something mentioned in there. And Katrina came, and we got lucky. We only got 6 inches of water in our house. Everybody in our neighborhood got like 4 feet.
Wow.
So I'm sitting in the house looking at this case going, these books are ruined. And what happened was the moisture was so heavy in the house, the books just absorbed them and swole up. They swole up to the point that they blew the sides off the shelves. I was like, well, this is just, and they basically were melting after that. So I managed to save about 500 of them, but the rest of them were.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking. Oh yeah. And I went on air and was telling people about it. And a lot of people got me, they sent me about another 1,000, 1,500. But these were over 30-year collection of different artists. Half these people that were signed were now dead. And Jim Mars, Kevin Smith, Jerry Pittman, they're all passed. So there's no way to get those signatures back. I kept the signature page, but they were just too mushy to really make a difference. One more question, and we got to bring in Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing down there? What you got? We were just talking about Dragon Fantasy. That's what we were just talking about. Oh, you mean something like, you want to know if you would write something like, what's it got? What's it called? I know they call it the shortest GOT, but
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, Game of Thrones. Yeah,
I'm a huge George R.R. Martin fan. I love Game of Thrones. When I was trying to sell, when I started first pitching my first novel, which now is 2 novels because I've been advised to split it because it was about 200,000 words.
Yeah, I bet you were. Come on, man.
Yeah, they told me you try to want to, even in epic fantasy, they're like you want to be 150 tops. So I split it. Now it's 88K and 111K. And but I used to, one of my comps, my comparisons used to be Game of Thrones for that. But I don't do grimdark. I don't go as dark as Martin does. I like my stories to start that dark, but I like to have my stuff really work toward a hopeful angle, a hopeful future. So go from dark.
Well, that's a good thing, man. I mean, that's a good thing, as dark as the planet seems to be right now. I appreciate that kind of stuff. I mean, we're at a place on Earth right now that, anything that's helpful, light, and hopeful is probably a good thing.
Well, I think that's what readers want. I mean, you've seen genres like solar punk, hope punk, all kinds of different positive genres start exploding because I think people are kind of sick of the grimdark and the world sucks and we can't do anything about it. Because
that's if you turn on TV and you turn on any news anywhere, that's all you hear. And it don't matter what side it happens to be, it's still going to be nasty news. You know, I was watching because we do the news, so we try to change it. We do lighten it up in a lot of areas, and we do make fun of things like when the Putin or the president or somebody just does something completely stupid, or Trump. It doesn't really matter who it is. We don't discriminate. We hate on everybody, man. Equally though, but it's kind of funny. A lot of times we include a lot of satire in the news because it's it's dark and people are mad and hateful and and then you have to listen what half of what you're listening to is going to turn out to be a lie, which is even worse. So yeah, we try to lighten it up a good bit. What was that? Yeah, we did polls last night. We always do polls on Friday night. Yes, the polls are funny. Yeah, y'all go listen. No, we can't talk about that here because not what the show's about, but go listen. Those polls last night were hilarious. So you're going to see 4 or 5 articles that say one thing written by very, very, we'll just say lead in one direction news media. And then you're going to see actual polls taken by just in the middle polling companies. And then you're going to see the other side. It is hilariously funny. It is just hilariously funny. It's like one poll says, oh, well, this guy's ahead. He's winning. He's going to win the election. He's ahead by 8, but yet in all the swing states, he's losing. Well, how do you win? I mean, come on. So, I mean, it's a lot of that. It's a lot. So go listen to it. I'm not going to get into it, but y'all go listen to that and you'll figure it out. You mean dark fantasy about, it's not dark fantasy if it's about the White House. It's just dark. I mean, well, oh, you mean like, oh, okay. Oh, no, I retracted statement. So Brucey is saying, why don't you write some dark fantasy, not real dark, but some fantasy about the White House where, we go from, how did you say it? If we go from no cognizance to, oh, look, I can spell. Dude, you're going to get in trouble. And just something that uplifts something. He's writing 5 million paragraphs, but he's basically saying write something that uplifts, raises our president, but and while doing it has some kind of sparkly magical thing that raises Putin and Xi Jinping, which you can't use those names because we don't want to use. You can. What are you talking about? I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
You can use those. They're public figures. You can use their names.
Oh, that's true. They are. That's right. They are public figures. I forget about that. That's why I use their names all the time when I get in trouble. But I'm also an ASCAP member too, so that helps. I can use a lot of people's stuff without getting in trouble. Bonnie Ray, we got to go because we got Chris coming up, and Chris is in the other side of the planet, or on the bottom of the planet actually. And Chris is a very nice guy, so we're going to talk him to him. And Chris Harrison, he was last year's winner, the year before. I always get these winners confused now. But he's a very nice guy. We're going to get. I didn't get to interview him last time. Last year was like insanity. It was, I've been there for 4 years now. Last year was insane. They started at like 7:30 and they didn't quit till 8:30. There was just no time to interview anybody. I did squeeze in a few, but trying to squeeze them in when they're that busy is hard.
Yes. Wait, you said 4 years. Was my year your first year then?
Yeah. So y'all's year was crazy. Now I managed to get in a ton of interviews that year. I think I got in out of the 48 or the 42 interviews. I think I got 35 of them in, 36 of it. So that was really good. And the rest of them I got in later on. But last year and the year after that, I think I got almost a full bunch. But last year was tough. I had to do everybody after the fact. Marco, it just happens sometimes, man. It's just so hopefully we won't have that problem this year. Yes, I know what hotel we're staying at. And I know what plane I'm flying on now. I know all that stuff now. It's no, I can't tell you all that. I'm sorry. I don't want a bunch of freakos showing up at the hotel, man. I don't trust y'all. So a friend of mine the other day said, "You're gonna tell your fan club where you at?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Why not?" I said, "Cause I don't. I'm working, and I don't want a bunch of people showing up and following me around all day. Because that's what they do. They just follow me around." And then everybody's like, "Who's that, Joe?" "Oh, nobody." "Who's that, Joe?" "Nobody." "Who's that?" "Nobody." Stop. And then of course they want to stop and introduce themselves. No, we don't do that. So no, only time I do that, people, is when I'm lecturing at conferences, and then you can bug me all you want. Yes, that's what I'm there for. I tell people all the time, if you see me, talk to me, because they'll do stuff like ask my wife or ask one of my friends, "Can I talk to Joe?" And they're like, "Well, go talk to him." "Well, no, I don't want to talk to him without asking first." "Well, you got to ask him, not me." It's the first couple of years it felt weird to me. It still kind of feels weird to me. I ain't gonna lie to you. When you get really, really, because I'm not really famous, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle somewhere. But when you get really famous, man, you're gonna be like, "All right, people, enough is enough." It comes a point where you're like, "Oh my god, oh my god." Anything else you want to say before we get out of here? I see Chris is ready. We got him in the queue. We're going to get him up here. And
no, like I said, I mean, the Kickstarter's up. It's Intergalactic Rejects, a Calendar of Fools anthology. You can find me at my website, www.stormhumbertwrites.com. Most of the stuff I've published is there for free, either through the original publisher or it's been reprinted and it's free for that reason. And then there's calendarfools.com, which is my small presses site.
So do me a favor. I'm getting ready to put up a special page for these kind of links. So send me Kickstarter and send me both of those to my email at icar@cox.net. And when I finish the page, I'll post them up there. Right now, I'm still putting
put that in the chat so I can copy it.
Oh yeah, I'll put it up there. It's there it is. It's what did I do with the damn chat box? I'm losing my mind, man. Lord have mercy. And let me make sure I put it in there right because I can't see it. Yes, iCarCox.net. There it goes. Boop. There you go. It's in the private chat. It's but yeah, you can just send it there because sometime in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I don't know if it's going to be before I go to LA or after. We're putting up a special page for these kind of things. So I've been telling everybody we've been interviewing this. Just send it there. And when I get it up there, I'll put a list of authors, illustrations, anybody with Kickstarters. I'll put in another spot because we've got 4 or 5 people that got Kickstarters out right now. And I'd like to see them all do well.
Yeah,
I'll put up a Kickstarter.
We're going through April 19th. We got 11 days left. So
get out there, people. They don't need much. They're close, so they don't need much. Get out there, give them a helping hand. Get out there and just spend a couple of dollars. It's not a lot of money. You're not spending $1 million or nothing.
And the more
most of y'all should be able to cover what they got left. Yeah, and y'all should be cover what one of y'all should be able to cover what they got left. What was it, like $180 or something? I didn't think it was that much.
No, it's like $825 or something like that.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, come on, people. I know some of y'all rich.
$717.
$717. There you go. One of you richies pull out some money, or not. 170 y'all just put up $100. Come on. Oh man, I'm telling you, y'all some tightwads in this country this year. That's all I got to say. But anyway, we got to go. Storm, thanks for hanging out with us. Chris, I'm bringing you up right now, man. I'll see you soon somewhere. Hopefully, if you're at Dragon Con, I'll probably see you up there because I usually go every year.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, I go up to harass John. Actually, I go up to harass Emily and Sarah, who's who I go up to harass.
Well, I'll be at the booth.
All right, baby. I'll see you then. Hey, Chris, you there, baby? Hey, what's up, man? Looking good, man. You look different since the last time I seen you, man. Look at you, babe. You looking all sharp. But you looking for some love somewhere, man? Okay, we ain't gonna talk about the wrong show for that. I'm just saying, man. How you been? Life's treating you good? What's been up?
Yeah, everything is very crazy before the last year event.
Yeah, I bet you it is. Are you coming back to see us this year, or are you busy?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal.
I'm coming.
Because I know last time I seen you was like the whirlwind, buddy, all over the freaking place. Do me a favor, tell the audience just a little tiny bit about yourself, and then we'll get started. Just where you from, who you are, and what did you win for?
Sorry.
Oh, I said tell the audience a little bit about you. Tell them, give the audience your name, where you're from, and what you won for.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, my name is Chris Arias. I'm from Costa Rica, and I am a last year's winner, illustrator winner. I illustrate the story "The Fall of Crodendra M" by the author T.J. Knight.
That was a good story too. It's hey, look, if you got a website links, put it in my chat, and I'll pull it up in that private chat. What was that, Jeremy? No. What reason I had Chris got a much better accent than I do. So when he says his name, it sounds way better than when I say it. It's well, yeah. Well, no, I mean, we all have accents. Let's just get over that now. I mean, I got a serious coon-ass accent. Half the time, Siri don't even know what I'm saying. She's like, speak English, man. What the hell are you talking over there? So you're coming out. So you won. Man, you just, man, I'm telling you what, it must have been good for you this year. I mean, life looks like, it's been like a little whirlwind since you got home. Been doing a lot of interviews or?
Yeah. Last year was a crazy year for me because
I bet.
The returning to Costa Rica, the people from local press were contacting me. So I live a lot of new things for me.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing because I know I got a few friends down in Costa Rica, and one had asked me about you. He said, "Do you know about this guy?" I said, "Yeah, I met him." I said, "I met him last year at Writers of the
Awesome.
Future." I said I had a hard time getting to talk to him. I said because everybody was so busy. I said, but he said, "Man, I seen his work. It's really good." I said, "Well, why don't you go buy something?" that's what I can't help myself, man. I'm like, it's part of who I am. Yeah, go buy something, man. Go be nice. It's but yeah, that's good. I mean, that's just random off the blue. He said he had seen you somewhere. I forgot where he said it was. Something about TV. And then he said he remembered seeing some particular piece that he really, really liked. I said, well, write to the guy. I said, and maybe maybe he can buy the piece, or maybe he can make you the piece. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's well, no, ladies and gentlemen, he was one of the illustrators for last year. So every illustrator that wins illustrates a cover of the book. So every cover you see, not just the book covers, but what I'm talking about is, okay, see, like David's book back there, The Death of a Taxman. That's the artwork that won at the Writers of the Future contest. So when you look inside of, do I have it up here? Book 39. No, I don't have book 39 up here, but in book 39, you would see that piece of artwork up there. And you would see, you know what? I don't have book 39. I can't believe that. I was going to show him yours, but I don't think I have book 39. Did I give them all away? Get the hell out of here. I guess I did. I know I've got to have some original copies somewhere I kept for myself, but you got a book around you? You can show them what your drawing was? Usually I got one, but I'm surprised I can't find a damn thing.
Yeah, I think that. Give me a second.
No, take your time. Take your time.
I've got mine right here. I'll grab it.
Oh yeah, it's just Storm's got it. He can grab it. It's I'll look at. Don't pay attention to
President 39, you said, right?
Yeah, it's 39. Yeah, the one with look, all three of them found in there. Hey, this.
I have it right here.
Oh, yep, I just found it too.
Yeah.
There it is.
But yeah, see, look at it. So that's what they do, guys. So when they have the reveal, like this year when they have the reveal, so what goes on is that you walk into this room and the authors are standing there. I mean, the illustrator's standing there, and the author goes out and finds the story for his book. What I find so fascinating about this is how many of the authors immediately see the picture and know it's for their book. That's amazing to me. I mean, maybe it's not 100%, but it sure looks like it most of the time. Oh, and there's a lot of tears too, people, in case you don't know that, because it's emotional, and but it is interesting to see. By the way, I never get them right. No, so I tell people all the time, don't ask me to pick a winner. In 4 years, I ain't got nobody right, not even one. I don't even think I even got the top three, man. It's just sad. Obviously, I have different taste than the judges do. It's because there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, when you go through it, looking at all the different artwork, there's a lot of good artwork in there. A lot of good stories in there, a lot of good things in there. So first, was that the first time to the United States?
Yeah, okay, it was my first time.
So did you found out why they say United people are crazy, right? You come to visit. All my European friends, he said, I don't understand why they say y'all crazy. I said, after you spend a couple of weeks with us, you'll understand just fine. And I said, but don't believe what you see on TV, man. I said, we're not that violent. We don't go around killing people or nothing like that. Because every European movie I see with Americans in it, they always got a gun shooting somebody. Everyone. Yeah. I'm like, people, we're not that violent. We might all carry guns, but we're not shooting people. It just cracks me up sometimes. But yeah, everybody gets a reputation.
Yeah,
get a different reputation.
About Costa Rica. Costa Rica appears in Jurassic Park saga,
Mm-hmm.
So I think in the third movie, they send the Costa Rican Air Force, and we don't have any like that here in Costa Rica. So
y'all safe? You got other people watching y'all's backs. It's it's funny because eventually I heard just a couple of months ago, a lot of the South American countries and some of the Central American countries are talking about if the U.S. will sign off that they may get rid of their militaries. and or at least downsize considerably. Part of me thinks that's a really good idea, and part of me thinks, I don't know. Maybe we should write some books about this because I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, part of me thinks this is a really good idea, but the other part saying, I don't know, maybe not so. But really, I mean, South America's managed to stay out of the wars. I mean, they had drug into 1 and 2, but not really. I mean, I got a friend of mine from Brazil who's he's from Brazil. He's like, man, we need to get out of this and stop spending money on this. And he goes on. He's an activist down there. He's an artist too, but he's an activist. And the only kind of art he draws is activist art. That's it. He'll draw like the president or somebody on the side of the wall throwing knives at somebody. It's always retarded stuff, but he gets paid big money for this, man. The last mural he did on the side of a house, he got paid $81,000 for. I was like, what? I can come down there and draw it. I said, come on, let me get my spray gun. I'll spray that right up for 81 grand. So what you been doing? I mean, you've been doing any art? I know since you've been doing a lot of interviews, it's hard to get work done when you're busy gallivanting around the planet. So working on new projects or?
Yeah, I'm working on. I worked for illustration for Volume 40.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you? I didn't know that. Hell, people got to tell me these kind of things. John didn't tell me that. So, well, that's a good gig there, man. It's so who?
Absolutely.
Well, you were working with Santos, right? With Dan.
Yeah, I'm working on a L. Ron Hubbard story.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I didn't know. Let me know how that goes. I'm always interested in those kind of things. It's because all of his well, let me say this. A lot of his past stuff that I've seen is always kind of have a retro look to it. I was going through. They had sent me a pad that somebody actually ended up stealing out of one of my cars, but I was going through a lot of his old, a lot of his books, and I noticed a lot of the artwork, a lot of the covers had this really kind of retro look to them. I mean, it made you want to read the book because I mean it was well done, and you could see in the cover everything that was probably in that book that interested you. But still, it was done in a retro way, and it was done in a way that was how can I say this, pleasing to the eye, I guess is what I was trying to say. So, I mean, they got you working on a particular book, or does it, or I'm just being nosy, because usually John will tell me this kind of stuff, or Carmen will tell me this kind of stuff ahead of time. When y'all are doing stuff like that, I'm gonna have to get on Carmen when I see him. He's out, y'all. Carmen's a nice guy, and he's out partying like a dog tonight, just in case y'all didn't know. See, I ratted him out, man. I got it. No, I'm telling you, he's partying like it's 2099, whatever that means. I'm just throwing that out there for y'all. So, you got any? So wait, let's go back for a minute. So, what's your favorite medium? What is your favorite thing? Draw, paint, digital, oil.
Yeah, I mostly work digitally, but I love to work with watch. Actually, the piece I did for the Volume 40, I did it with watch painting.
Now, that's interesting. You got to explain that a little bit, because now I'm a little more familiar with stuff because I hang out with you artists, but for the rest of the world, you're going to have to explain that. Kind of give them an idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, watch painting is like a most oily watercolor.
So, okay.
Yeah,
it's
so it was used a lot by a lot of artists in the 40s and 50s. So I love to work with watch.
But that's cool. I mean, and which is a cool thing, because you're seeing a lot of we're flipping back again. So I've noticed something with music and clothes and art and even books. Every now and then, especially in this country, we flip back a couple of decades. Sometimes it's only a decade, sometimes it's 2 or 3 decades. But you'll see like certain looks coming back that you just didn't see for 30 years in art and in a lot of different ways. And I've been noticing a lot of I don't want to call it retro because it's not really what it is, but it's just it just looks like something you'd see in the 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s. It's really what it looks like. It's not really campy. there's something about the art back then that just it stood out in a different way. Maybe it was the use of colors. I'm not sure what it was, or maybe it was the use of tones on people's faces and hands and stuff because it was different. But it definitely stood out. It was definitely something that would grab your face. Oh, you mean? Oh no, John, you're talking about the cover. This cover is what you're talking about. Is that what you were talking about? Yeah, Tom Wood did that. Tom Wood is. We'll just say he's successful and leave it at that. No, he's successful, and we'll just. What do you mean? Is he a millionaire? Probably so. He probably is. Well, he does stuff for the NFL, the NBA. He does a lot of different stuff for a lot of different things, and he's always commissioned something going on. So he's like Santa's. They're always got some kind of commission going on. So it's So wait, so you're gonna get to see Dan down here. You know, Dan gonna work you to death, man. He's gonna, Dan DeSantis. He's gonna put you to work. You know how he is. But you've got to be with Echo and them before, though, so you got to hang out with them last year, so you know how they are. I mean, you met Echo and guys and girls. We're talking about Echo Chernick. Yeah, I seen somebody ask me twice who that was. She is the coordinating judge for the illustrators. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She's another one who's got an excellent. She's got an excellent thing of art. She likes a lot of oil, though. She does a lot of oil work. She does a lot of everything, but she does a lot of oil. And somewhere in one of our archives, there's a set of her oil work we've got up. Actually, quite a bit of it. And then we've got her Naughty collection up as well. Yes. Yeah, go check it out. And if you don't know what Naughty collection means, you'll find out when you go see it. That's all I can tell you. So you're going to fly back up here, hang out with all these crazy people. And how long are you going to be? You going to get to stay a while, or did they tell you? I know they can work you from anywhere in the world these days, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm coming in Monday 22.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so returning on Friday, I think.
Yeah, so you'll be the day after Saturday. The gala. Yeah. Because the gala is Thursday, so everybody wants to be there for that, and you get to hang out and hang around, meet all the strange people. But hey, at least this time you know what's going on. You got an idea where everybody's at. You know who's who, so you can be down here talking to people because you're the winner now. You're not the you're not the guinea pig. You're the guy who actually won. Yeah. It's actually working with them. It's good to see them. I'm glad to see them that they do those kind of things because I love to see people when they come out of a win. And so I mean, you won. Now you're making money. You're going to be able to make some more money, and of course, the more artwork you do, the more money you're going to make. I want to see a big piece somewhere hanging like in one of those LA malls somewhere, man. I can only imagine what they pay for those damn things. Well, down here they do. So instead of doing artwork down here or stuff like that, they do sculptures. So they think we need sculptures on every piece of highway through the city I live in. I can only imagine how much money we waste in here. Some of these sculptures like $2-3 million. I'm like, and why would you put that ugly thing in the middle of the road? It's well, somebody made, pie, the apple, just a simple. They made the apple and made a little thing so you knew it was pie. For what? Kids go to school to learn pie. They don't need a damn. I don't know what that was about. And they had some guy with a wheelbarrow going down the middle of the thing. I really have no idea what some of this stuff was for. I'm thinking I was illiterate because I have no idea what it was about. So down here, what's your next step after this? Where you headed after this? You gonna just take a break for a while, or?
No, I'm trying to get more gigs, So I'm working on personal pieces, portfolio pieces, and sending my portfolio everywhere.
And that's the best way to do it. Well, this time maybe we'll get a chance to sit down, if you got a website with your stuff on it, maybe we can sit down and get a lot of your pieces up on the website. I mean, not on the website, but on the archive. That way, I tell this to people all the time. So when you do an archive and we're doing your art and we're talking about different pieces of your art, so you're giving a description of your art, how you came to work on it, what made you draw that. Also, a lot of this fluff stuff we talk about in the beginning is also on there too. So when you send that to somebody you might want to work with, so it's a little bit of information about you. It's information about your art, and then it's actual artworks actually on it. I've actually seen quite a few illustrators get jobs off of this because it's a part of your portfolio. And we tell people all the time, use them. That's what they're there for. I see a lot of the illustrators use them. I see some of the authors use them. It's a little hard for the authors because, you can only tell so much about a book before you give it away. It's hard to like Storm up there. He wants to tell you what's in his books, but if he does, you ain't gonna buy the damn thing, so we can't tell you what's in the book. And I do push authors for certain parts of teases. I never want them to get around the end or too close to really the middle is, if you're going to tease, the middle of the book is where to tease, because people today are smarter than they used to be. And you'd be surprised how much they can figure out by just a couple of little teases. We don't want to go there. So
Chris,
you're doing this.
Covers? Have you done covers? Book covers and stuff? All right. Well, it's the cool thing being in the writer's teacher family. Like you can, and when I met you, I know another artist now. Like maybe our next thing, we can actually commission a cover if this one does well. So
absolutely, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I mean, I tell people all the time. That is one of the nice things I did notice about writers of the future. A lot of these people, you'd see a group here, a group there. With the authors, there was always 7, 8, 9 of them group up together, do things after they got out. Sometimes you'd see them cross over years and stuff. Illustrators are not quite as tight, but they were grouping up with some of the authors and working with some of them. So it's just nice to see. And again, you just never know what's the piece that's going to go viral and make your name. It's not even the piece that's going to make you the money. It's the piece that's going to make you the name that's important. The money will come no matter what. If you get out there and a couple million people see you and know you, then the next piece is going to be, at least then you can sell something, because you have the followers on there to sell stuff. It's I don't hit my followers for money. I just tell them donate to the station, and then when they don't donate, I don't talk about what they want me to, because I'm a dog. Oh, good, you got it up there. So. No, Pete. No, really. I'm serious. People want me to talk about stuff. If they write to me ahead of time, weeks in advance, and they want this, that, and that, there's a place where you can go make a donation. Yes. Did y'all know that? A donation. These hosts cost money. These people need to eat and stuff. Yes, they got wives and children and all kinds of stuff. Dogs and cats. You never know. Birds. No, actually, we're going to see this real quick, and we're going to go. But let me pull this up. Why did I do it right? I just think it was. Oh yeah, look at this. Hold on, let me switch over. Let's switch over. Where's the damn present button? There it is. All right.
I gotta go. I'm gonna look through your thing later. It was great meeting you, Chris.
All right, man. Nice talking to you, Storm, baby. See you soon, babe.
See you.
Stay out of trouble too. Don't let them crazy get you in trouble. All right, so let's look right here. Let me get out of here where I can actually see what I'm doing. Add the stage. Okay, let's make everything a little bit bigger. Let's pull it like that. Okay. So I can just run it through like this, I think. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we can run it like that. Oh, all right. There we go. So this is some of Chris's work right here, as you can see. And I got it blown up. So if you're watching us on television or on any of the venues besides TV, you can blow this up even bigger. On the bottom right corner of the StreamYard thing, there is a place where you can blow all this up. You can see Chris and I's face, our lovely faces, but you can see the artwork in a much cleaner, crisper piece. Well, for me, I'm looking at it like that right now. So, I'm looking at his feet. So I didn't even, so just tells you where my brains are today. So I'm looking at the guy reading, and I'm like, what the hell is he got hanging out the side? And then I look back and I see the thing with all the eyes. I didn't even see it at first. I was like, well, where the hell did this come from? People don't pay attention to me today. My brain is fried. What can I tell y'all? But I really didn't. I didn't see it at first. I was like, whoa, where'd that come from? No, let's go. We got to go back over here. What did I do with it? It's okay. Do it like that. Yes. And so we just click back in over here. Boom. Ooh, I like this too. Oh, wait the hell. Let's see. Put it over here. So we can see it like that. All right. It's see, I'm looking at it fully blown up from the page. So guys, y'all gonna have to blow it up. And this way I can see everything that's in it. I like that you've got names on them, which some people don't do. Some people do. And it took me a second to realize what this was, that it was coming through her. It's well, there's lots going on in here. There's lots of stuff in here, lots of good color, lots of stuff all over. I see you got a good command of faces, which some artists are not as good with. I'm not criticizing people. I couldn't draw a face to save my own butt. So let's look up in here. See, there's just stuff that seems to be all over. And I see you like to bury little stuff. I see little hints of different colors in different places. And I see little, like the axe, the shadows are in there, the different pieces are in there. When you look up here, you've got the sky, you've got the cloud, what looks like the burning sky. Then out here, there's just a lot of stuff going on, and I like art like that because I can look at it longer. So how can I say this without offending half the artists I know? For me, I want to, when I look at art, it doesn't need to be like busy art, but it needs to be so. I'm looking. There's a lot of stuff, even in this picture. There's just a lot going on. The eyes have changed since the last picture. The teeth, it's just even to the flame jumping out the side of the thing. That's detail that a lot of people just would have just left the glow orange there. They might not have put that extra detail in there. And then, what we got going on here? Hey, dragon, get your fingers out of there. Bad dragon, trying to eat something over there. It's I didn't even see the rat till just now. Let me close this so I can see this better. And see, there's just all kind of stuff up in here. I love the cat. Hey, Mr. Frog. Hey, are you? I'm not hungry, Mr. Frog. I don't want to eat you, buddy. Yes, I do want to eat you. There's a voodoo doll up here. You've got the book in it. You've just got a lot of detail. It's just.
I try to tell a story through the illustration. So
that's a good thing, because when you're doing a book cover, you need to be able to tell a story through the illustration, because that's what's going to sell. Oh no, Jimmy, this is the same picture of the black and white. This is just in color. Yes. Well, I know it looks different because it's in color. By shading it and darkening it, it changes the look out of it. Well, no, you see when I was talking about, there's the stuff in the book, there's the mouse, where's the cat? Here's the cat over here looking at the little frog, I didn't even notice this back here until he colored it in. I didn't notice the flowers till he colored it in. The stuff over here, I didn't notice till it was colored in. It's just, you're going to pick up different details. See, let me show y'all. So the light up here, it's there, but for some reason it doesn't register in your head. But when you look at it down here, of course, it stands out. No, I'm not an art critic. Who said that? Who told you that? I don't know enough about art to be a critic. No, indeed not. All I can do is look at art and enjoy it or not enjoy it. And then geez, the skull on the damn hat. I'm sorry, that's good. Oh, we're playing dices. Oh, we got the 20 dice out too.
Yeah.
It's I love these little figurines you got down, and this is great. This is like a strange form of Dungeons and Dragons here, man. It's and your faces are really good.
Thank you so much. I tried more cartoonish style with these ones.
Yeah, and you can tell it looks. If so, by looking at this face right here, I would have thought this was some kind of anime coming out of Japan. A little more serious anime, because sometimes anime gets a little crazy with the face, but so this would have been an anime with a little bit more serious tone to it. But all of them look good. They all look good. They all look like they're part of the scene. They're supposed to be there. You see the correct reactions from everybody. We even got a dartboard back here. It's what are you talking about, Michael? No. What are you talking about? Well, no, you got to know how to use colors. Some people don't know how to use colors. It's like looking at this, when you say, we'll stop. We'll look at this robe for a minute. There's quite a few colors in this robe. So when you look at it, you see the reflection of the fire, reflection of the whatever the cloud thingy is up here. Then you see the inner part of this robe enlaced. You see the colors in here. You see her hair, and even the colors of her teeth. Then you see the shadow from this on her shoulders, the color of the hat, the bracelet. There's a lot going on here color-wise, and it all seems to just flow together. No, I couldn't make color flow together. It would look like a nightmare if I did it. We don't even want to talk about what it would look like. No, indeed not. No, So when you get up in here, it's just, this guy looks like one of them reptilian aliens coming to eat y'all people. You better watch out. It's so I like you threw in the, I guess, lightning bugs or whatever they may be, because you never know, since you're in a foreign scene here, what that could possibly be. I see your boy holding his staff, guy with your spear coming around. There's just a lot going on here. Eyes look really nice on this guy. Oops, I hit the wrong button.
Thank you so much.
I definitely hit the wrong button there. What do you need, Marcy? So Marcy, you think you could do this picture better? So let me tell you this. Submit to writersofthefuture.com if you think so. Yeah, try to win. Well, if you win, then I'll say, okay, maybe you could. But if you don't win, I'm going to laugh at you. You talking smack, and when you probably haven't ever submitted anything to Writers of the Future. Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to. Yeah. Well, you can't talk smack until you win. That's how it works. That's the rule. You can't talk smack until you win. It's let's go see what this one is. It's you got a lot of good stuff in here, man. We'll have to make sure when I got you on next time, we'll have to make sure we get it all up here so that it can be used. So this kind of reminds me of this. There's a song Aha does where it's a cartoon, and it's kind of for some reason this kind of reminds me of it. I'm not sure why. It just does. What do you mean, James? Well, no. So he can. These are in black and white, but he can color these any way he wants. I mean, whatever he feels like, or he can just leave them black and white. When you're doing cartoons or comics, you don't always have to color them. You can run black and white. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can color them. I mean, if whoever you're working for wants them colored, or if you feel they need to be color in there, I mean, you can always come back and color something. That's. Well, if depending on how he's doing it, he can try different colors to see how it works out. Yeah, because this would make a great comic book right here if you just added in the bubbles for the story. It would actually, and I can kind of got a feel of what's going on anyway, even without the bubbles. If you've been following as I've been scrolling, you can kind of get the sense of what's going on here in the first place. Oh, look and see, people. It's a story. He's telling the story with this role we're going through right now. Yeah, pay attention to what's going on. See the hero. Oh, y'all are weird sometimes. It's Jimmy, this looks like your mama up here. I'm just saying. It looked just like your mama. Oh man. Yeah, you should see Jimmy's mama. She's scary, man. She's a scary thing. And characters and stuff. I mean, you gotta work characters. You gotta figure out what you want somebody to look like, how you want them to look, what kind of shapes you're gonna use, what kind of body style. I mean, there's so much when it gets in here. I mean, just look at this guy's face. I mean, there's so many things you can do with his face. I mean, he's got the wrinkles in. Just looks like me, actually. That's goddamn scary. If he's a little more bald, I think it was. Frank bite me. It's but you're not going to really be able to do this kind of stuff unless you do it. Yes. Yeah. No, it's not. I don't really. If you've never been an artist or you've never been around illustrators, it's going to be harder to understand. But so look at the colors here. So what if you looked at this, ladies and gentlemen, you saw this picture somewhere, what would you think? First off, you'd have to think, okay, something a little dark, something a little risque, something a little strong. I mean, there's quite a lot in here to look at. I mean, you see the guy up here, you see this face right here, you get the face here, you get the face here, you got from ugly to sexy on the same row. You got this guy over here, and you got the guy up front. I mean, there's a lot going on here. And you could come out, this looks like a story cover, is what it looks like. So maybe a cover for a storybook or maybe for a novel or something like that. It just looks like it would make a good cover. Because your cover needs to tell you what's going on. I would think in this cover it'd be like, oh shit, somebody's in trouble. Sorry, I should have said it like that. But that's how I would have said it.
Yeah, I think that the most important thing about illustration is to communicate, Yes,
I do too. I agree with you. It's there's a lot of good work up here. Y'all can go check it out. Go over to the site and take a look around. Let's look at this guy. I thought this guy was flicking us the bird at first, man. It's like until I seen when I seen this, I said, uh-oh. Kristen got angry with somebody. We got the bird finger up here, and then I realized it was the fire. But see, I like this piece just because it's kind of I'll bite you, but kind of funny at the same time. It's like maybe what would you call him? Not a Padawan. What would you call him? What do they call a sorcerer's apprentice? Kind of looks like an apprentice guy, but maybe maybe a little bit more than an apprentice, maybe somewhere closer to the wizard. I don't know, people. Anyway, y'all go look, take a look around on the site because we're going to close it, but there's a lot of stuff to go look at. Go enjoy it. Thanks for sending that link, by the way.
You're welcome.
So y'all can see it, and remember, for the people on big screen televisions, on Roku, you can blow this up. You can blow it up here, right here. There's a little thing right here. And see, look how cute we are. And then, of course, there's a blow up on the tab that you're looking at, and then, of course, your Roku television set along with. Your Roku along with your television set are also more. So you can really get into this and get as detailed as you want. Shireen, I don't know if he's married. Why would you? You know what? I hadn't heard that question in like 6 weeks now. You just had to throw that in there, did you? You just had to. I've been getting on our guest about asking getting on our listeners about asking our host, our guests, if they're married or not. He's a good looking guy. I don't know. He's a good looking guy. What do you mean he might like aliens as far as you know? You don't know. You just assume he likes black hair. No, you're just crazy is what you are. I know I'm not telling y'all where we are. See, now y'all want to come here and harass this poor man. He just wants to come down, make a little money, look around, eat some good food. It's I wanted to ask you. So last year when you were down here, how was the food in LA last year? I mean, what did you think? Okay, fair, good.
Yeah, very good.
It's
at least the things that I eat.
Yeah, a friend of mine stopped by to see me at the Roosevelt, and we went over there to have lunch. And he said, "How much is this hamburger?" I said, "I don't know, but you're paying for it." And he's like, "Joe, it's like $40 for this hamburger." I said, "I told you when it's LA, dude, it's expensive down here." Yeah. I said, "Come on, dude, you live in San Diego. How much cheaper is it down there?" He's like, "Well, not a lot. It's that what do they call that? Meat. Anyway, it's supposed to be a little fancy Japanese meat."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, I'm from the deep south. We eat black Angus down here, and it's really good. So I haven't been impressed with that stuff in LA. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but our beef is fresh. Do you realize it goes from one day from the butcher shop to the store? It's not like in LA where it's got to be shipped and flown over and shipped out from Canada or Mexico or some other place we don't want to talk about, Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what do you mean, Frank? You don't know why Japanese meat is so expensive? One, it's the way they treat their cows, but two, there is no place to raise cows in Japan. Where do you think they raise them indoors? There's nowhere there. People, have y'all been to Japan? I'm telling you, they got mountains and cities. There ain't much else.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me. They really and truly, when I say it's mountain and cities, that's what it is. South America is like that, but South America at least has flatlands here and there thrown in different places. Some of them are deserts, but with climate change, the deserts may become lush valleys. So you never know. What is that, Frankie? When I was in the Navy, I was in South America. Yes, I was Westpac. So anything that was on the West Coast, I got to visit. Yes. Well, we didn't stop everywhere. We stopped here and there, and sometimes we'd fly in when we would put planes in. Actually, we had a port in Costa Rica, not a ship port, but a jet port. Yeah, we used to keep planes there when we were stopping somewhere. Where the hell was it? Not Argentina. I don't know. Some country down here we used to stop at to refuel and to do repairs on the ship. It was one of the two at the bottom. I just can't remember which one it was. Man, come on, that's long. That's longer than he'd been alive ago. That's how long ago that was. I mean, give me a break. No, he's young. He's cute. Ladies, leave him alone. Guys, leave him alone. Aliens, leave him alone. He might like blue aliens as far as I know. I mean, come on, guys. You don't know that. See, this is what happens when you leave them in the chat room for too long, Chris. They lose their minds, man. Anyway, we're getting ready to get out of here. But you want to tell them anything before we go? Anywhere they can find you? Anything you want to talk about before we hit the road? Just smack the audience around for good measure.
Yeah, I don't know. Just go to my Instagram page to see my work, and I'm wishing to be able to show you the piece that I did for Volume 40.
I can't wait to see that myself. Guys and girls, if you're looking for an artist that you've seen his work, you know what kind of work he does, what are you talking about, Frank? Well, he can do fantasy. I mean, some of that stuff he was doing was fantasy. So, yeah, I think he can do fantasy easy. I would let him read the story and then let him come up with something, and then get together and talk with what you think you need or what you want, or no, you talking about that story you sent me on audio the other day? Oh yeah, I think Chris could easily do that. So what do you need? I mean, what is it you're looking for? You're looking for a cover. You're looking for a cover and 3 or 4 pieces for inside the book. I said, well, just send it to him. Yeah. Just send it to him and then go from there. Well, you don't know until you try, my friend. And you cannot draw. You draw like I do, stickmen. So, Mr. Dan is a friend of mine. He's about as much as an artist as I am a pilot. It's he's a good author though. He does write really well. He's just the other day he sent me something. He said, "Look how good my artwork's gotten." And I said, "What is that?" He got mad at me. He said, "Well, you know," I said, "Dude, I love you, but I have no idea what you just sent me." But before I let Chris go, this is a good piece of advice. So I hear this from all the pros. If you're an artist, illustrator, author, don't ask mom and dad how good your story is. I mean, you can, but don't take that to heart. Go find like your brother who hates you, your friends that might give you shit, but find someone who's going to give you true feedback. What do you mean? You mean my wife?
I think that the writers and illustrator contest, it's a excellent way to see what your level, your actual level is. Because the first time I entered, I get honorable mention, so I knew that I need to get better. Yeah,
you need to get better. And but you got in there and you won, so that's what matters. And Jimmy, no, so first off, before we go, so in Chris's case, there are 4 winners, and then of course there's a grand prize winner, and then which I don't even remember who that was last year, and then wait, I'm getting this backwards for some reason. No, but Jesus. So what I'm trying to say is what happens is it's a lot of competition. So when Chris sends in his stuff, it's not like he's competing against just 12 people. He's competing against how many other people came in that quarter. Remember, there's 4 quarters a year, people, and there's only 3 people allowed to win in each quarter. There's the first place winner, and then the other 2 who get in. And so there's 4 first place winners, and then out of those 4 first place winners, one of them get picked to be the grand prize winner. Yes, yeah, right. 4, 8. No, wait, is it? No, yeah, 4. Okay, it's no, the grand prize winner just gets a little bit more money and a little bit more mention. I think it's like $5,000 or something. Next year, no, I'm cheating this year. I'm going to slide my name in there and they ain't going to know it. So when they're reading in the gala and the girl opens the envelope, it's going to say Joe Montalvo, and I'll be like, yeah! And everybody in the place is going to go, wait, what happened here? I said, damn, thank y'all. Let me bring my stick man up and show y'all what I won for. John and Emily would shoot me, man. They would just shoot me right there on the spot. But it's a good place. So I'm glad to see you're going to get to be at the gala this year too and enjoy it. So this year it'll be a little easier on you because not that I don't think they're going to keep you busy. Excuse me. I know they're going to keep you busy, but at least you won't have the pressure of being the winner. You'll be the pressure of, hey, I'm here as a winner, and I don't have to put up with all this crazy stuff that you people got to deal with. But it also lets you, if you want to sit in classes or look at stuff, I mean, you have all of that you can do. If you thought you didn't get enough of something last time, you can go sit in on one of the teachers and listen in and see, or they're going to probably ask you to talk to some of the people who did win because you are a winner. And it's harder too, being a winner from overseas. One, you got to bridge the language gap, which English is. People always say, "Oh, English is so easy to learn." I said, "Yeah, depending on which English you're trying to speak." I said, "Just in our own country, is like 50 versions of English. God help you when you go around the world. It's so you got to learn that, and not what, Jack? No, not every country speaks English. Okay, most countries in the world, with the exception of about 20, part of their population will speak English. for whatever reasons why. But even my friends, a lot of South American friends, I have to use a translator to talk to them because they speak Spanish and I speak English. And my Spanish used to be good when I was young, but today it's like maybe 10 words. And 10 words I probably shouldn't say in polite company. So you know what I mean? No, I used to speak pretty good. Well, I had to take Spanish and French in school when I was in school. And when we were young, we used it, but today it just doesn't get used. I mean, most people come over, learn our language, which I really do appreciate. And it's hard because you got to learn to speak to people like me who have heavy Cajun accents, people in New York who went to go party around a con. I mean, that's Boston people, but regardless, there's a lot of accents in this country. And, listen, you have to, even I have to listen when I'm speaking to guests sometimes because I'm like, where are you from? Where hell? Because unless you don't speak English or like, look, I'm telling y'all now, have y'all ever interviewed someone from Scotland? Oh my God. Y'all think I got a bad accent. It sounds like they put some rocks in their mouth. Scotland. Yeah, I'm like, wait, whoa, slow down, man. We're going to take this one word at a time. Let me use the translator. Even the translator's like, I don't know what it's saying. Anyway. But so this year you'll have a little bit more relaxing. You can enjoy it a little bit more. Look out and see if you might make some friends who need some covers this year. Because it's, too, I have noticed, I think it's a little bit easier for the past winners to pick up gigs from people who are just coming in or getting out or stuff like that. I think it's a little bit easier because they look at you a little different. They're like, well, and you've been invited back. That gives you another thumbs up. You're going to have something in volume 40. That's another thumbs up. So all those kind of things set you apart from the how can I say, the herd, I guess, which is what you need to do. I mean, you need to set yourself apart from the rest of them so that people are just wanting to buy your work and do your work. And you're with some of the best artists in the world again this year, so they should be able to teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, Bob? I hope so.
No, I got faith. Oh, excuse me. One thing I can tell you is I never pick the winners right. But generally, after I've looked at somebody's work, I can usually tell who's going to be successful and who's not. And paying attention, there's two things I've learned right off the bat. Paying attention to detail and good colors. I have noticed people who have really good mastery of color tend to get more work. And people who listen to whatever they're being told to do. But I've actually noticed that because like some of like Tom and Echo and Dan, they have excellent mastery of color. All three of them have good careers. Yeah. And they have good, and they really can put looks on things. And I noticed something too. You might want to go through some of Tom's work because I noticed you were doing those cartoon faces, which were really good, by the way. He does too. He does them for like NFL characters and NBA characters and things like that. He does some pretty good ones. They're kind of funny. So you might look at stuff like that as well because it looks like you have a knack for that kind of stuff. And of course, and then don't forget, Chris, there's always anime, my friend. There's a lot in anime out there, and somebody's got to be drawing it. I mean, there's a lot of anime. There's, when I was a kid, and this is long before the moon came up, but there was a little bit of anime. By the time I got in my 30s, there was a lot. Man, at the age I'm in my 50s now, Jesus, it's everywhere. This is so funny. So I'm at Dragon Con last year. I wanted to do some of the cosplayers. Okay, that came out wrong. I wanted to interview some of the cosplayers last year. So finally, I get over by the cosplayers. I set up some interviews. I got like 8 interviews. So I'm going to talk to these cosplayers. Some of them I know who they are. Some of them I have no idea who they are. I don't watch enough of them to know everybody. But so I start talking to them. I'm interviewing this little girl and this young lady, and we're talking. And this guy comes up and taps me on the shoulder. He said, "Are you Joe Montalvo?" I said, "Yeah, I'm in the middle of an interview. What can I do for you?" He's going to talk to you after the interview. I said, "Yes." So I go back to do an interview, and I didn't pay no attention to it. And the girl goes, "Do you know them people?" And I was like, "What?" And I turned around, there's like 25 people standing behind me. She said, I was like, "I don't know any of them." And so anyway, we finished the interview, I get up. She said, "Can I do an interview with you?" I was like, "Sure." I said, "You got a podcast?" She said, like, "Sure." So before she could sit down, the guy walks back. These were regular fans of mine, all 25 of them. So they were like, no, we want you to talk to us. well, I said, I said, I promised this girl interview. You got to let me do the interview. I said, then I'll come over here and we'll do a sit down, old fashioned Q&A. I said, that's what we'll do. I spent 5 hours with him doing a Q&A. So racked my whole day out. I had planned on doing interviews with cosplay people. And then next thing I know, like there's like 8 or 9, 10 cosplay people hanging out with us, wanting to know what we were talking about. So it just shows you, as you go along, how things work. One of these days you'll be sitting there and you'll be surrounded by ugly people, scary people. Get back, people. Use the demon clock. Get back. But hopefully, I'll look. I tell this to everybody. All I want to see is success for you. That's all I want to see. I hope you make it big, and I hope to see you.
Thank you so much.
I hope to see you. I'll be watching TV. Yeah, I know that guy. Where's he? I need to get an autograph. I know that guy. Oh, yeah, I remember that. But anyway, let me let you get out of here. I know we're a long distance on different times, so you go enjoy your afternoon. I will see you in a few days. And until then, man, have some fun. Enjoy your time, baby. And I'll see you in 14 days, I think.
Thank you.
Goodbye, man.
Yeah, I think. So, looking forward to see you.
Yeah, me too. So stay out of trouble, though. Okay, no, I'm just teasing. I'll see you on the 22nd, and I'll be looking forward to getting into some little deeper interviews. We'll worry about that when we get you set out. But and I'll see you there. We'll go have dinner or something and sit and chat and something once we get rid of all the crazies around us. But anyway, enjoy your day or you eat. What time is it there?
4:37. I think I am.
You're an hour ahead of me. Forward. Yeah, you're an hour ahead of me. Oh, well, because it's 5:30 here. Yeah. Well, man, it's only afternoon for you. You got skating, partying, and something. Well, y'all get good mountains in Costa Rica, though. I thought y'all had some pretty good mountains down there.
Yeah. I live in the mountain.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking. Because I remember seeing some beautiful mountains there.
Yeah, I live near an extinct volcano.
Oh, so you need to be on that.
Yeah. There's a lot of
something coming out the volcano. See, I love that. I got to get back to hiking. My ass got fat after 2 years of COVID sitting on my ass. But I'm back to walking now. I'm like, oh, Joe, you got to get rid of this belly for it rise before you at the way it's growing. But it's one of them things. But you go enjoy your afternoon. I'm going to go find me something to eat now that we've been talking about food. If you need anything, just let me holler. And don't forget, anything we do together, we post, you can use. So you don't have to ask me permission. And if you're going to use somewhere, just mention the network. But other than that, you don't even have to ask for permission. That's what it's there for. I want y'all to use it. Because I had somebody just the other day, a company call me. Actually, it was I'm going to tell you who it was, but it was a gaming company out of Japan. And a guy called me. He said, "Let me send you something." This guy sends me this archive. I'm like, "What about it?" He said, "Do you know this guy?" I said, "Yeah, he's a pretty good guy. He's a damn good artist too." He said, "Well, he has permission to use this." I said, "He most certainly does." Oh, okay. I thought he might have just snoogered somebody's stuff off of YouTube and was sending it to me. I said, "No, he's really good." And so last I heard, he was getting a job with some gaming company in Japan. And he out of all the artists I seen that year, he was, I would have said that if I gave him a 1 to 10, I'd have gave him a 7. But there were several 10s that didn't make it. So I don't know what to tell you. I guess he had the right attitude or something. Or I think the portfolio helped him out because he sent it down there, and that's when I got the call because the guy watched everything, and he said, "I was just making sure it was the same guy." I said, "Yeah, it's the same guy." I said, "I hope you give him a job." He said, "Oh, he's going to get a job." And the guy told me as long as he's good, he said, "We've always got stuff to do." So it's but now you got to compete with India and China and other places. Yeah. But thank God for us. Thank God for this side of the world. China's got 1.4 billion people. India's got 1.5 billion people. So they need a lot of work in their own country. So they don't need to be getting into our work. So we can stay busy. But anyway, let me get out of here, and I'll talk to you soon, and have some fun, man.
Thank you, Joe.
You too, baby. Be good. Oh, one more time. Oh, no, we gotta post it now. I was gonna tell you give them website one more time, but we already got to post it. So, and guys, don't forget to go visit the website, take a look around, leave some feedback, have some fun, people. Stop being a bunch of prudes. Goodbye, everybody. No, why did I do that right?